against strong men. Right. When we see crap like this, you got to do something, man.
Don't fool yourself. We still in slavery.
We being hanged, we being killed, and they love doing it.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless you, Israel. The camera, while the camera is off-centered, I'm in the. Can somebody please pay attention? Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Okay, center us, center us, center us. Okay, Lord have mercy. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Let's pay attention to what we're doing. If I need to move, I'll move. But I don't think the camera was the way it's supposed to be. But anyway, we're in the building. Most High in Christ bless you all. Happy prep day as we prep down to the Sabbath. It is our job to be as professional as we can. We have to keep pushing towards the mark. What's going on?
Somebody's sound.
Is it? It shouldn't be. Oh, okay. I thought I turned it down, and here it is. When it comes live, then it comes back in. Anyway, well, that's the thing of live promotion. So all praise to the Most High. We are here. And we getting the kinks out the way, but we good to go. We good to go. Also, I want to thank my my audio video team. So all praise to the Most High. Got the men in the building, and I know we have sisters that also work in this department. So I want to give a shout out to all of them that do great works in this department, because it's by their means, which is by the Most High. It allows our people to see the message that the Most High has from the prophets that's bringing them out in the Bible. We read the Bible, and we put them into the microphones, and the Most High sees fit for the apparatus and the machinery and the technology is put into effect to bring the this wonderful gospel to the ears and the hearts and the minds and the eyes of our people. So all praise to the Most High. We thank the Lord for all of the brothers and sisters that work tirelessly to make sure that these programs get out to our people. Yeah. It's amazing, because as we work as hard as we do, not selling drugs.
That's right, bitch.
Not doing anything evil. Here we are working to get the gospel out to the people, and you literally have governments that are against this, but they're not against crack dealers. They're not against sex traffickers. They're not against any of the things that completely destroys our people. They have no issues with that at all. But here we are trying to fix the problem, and they want to deem us as the boogeyman.
Right.
Ain't that something? So Lord have mercy. We're going to get right into it. So first of all, I'm Bishop Yalsab. Let me get everybody in here, get everyone's vocal cords loosened up, because we got a lot to go into today. Come on. Bishop
Shalom,
Yalsab.
Israel.
Go ahead, Captain.
Captain Sarai here. Most High in Christ bless you all.
Shalom, Israel. Officer Ezekiel. Most High in Christ bless.
Hey, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Officer Eliakim.
Okay. All praise to the Most High. So the first thing, I'm going to jump right in. Well, let's get the disclaimer out, because once we get rolling, we rolling. Come on, let's bring it in.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group.
Wow. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Crack, people that sell crack, they don't have to do this. People that sex trafficking, they don't have to do this. And they are literally destroying lives. And nobody deeming them as anything evil at all. A whole government is focused on stopping us. It's amazing. But I expect it, because I understand what this is about. And that's what the problem is. We understand what this whole war, this spiritual war is about. So
let us know we in the right place, right, Bishop?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So come on. Here we go. Had to stop it, right? We're bringing it out. Come on. Let's get it in.
We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group.
Say that again. We are not a what?
Affiliated.
We are not a hate group.
Yes, sir.
We have to say that. It's amazing. We have to say. And notice the font. We had to put them in big letters. We are not a hate group. Go ahead, Lakim. Go ahead, man.
Is united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group.
That's important to note, because some of our brothers and sisters that are in these groups, their mind ain't right. It's a sad case, but some of our brothers and sisters in these groups are not right. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as the show goes on. Go ahead.
Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement.
That's important to note. We are a nonviolent Bible-based movement. And that's the truth. We have not inflicted any violence on anyone. Again, is sex trafficking violent?
Yes.
Is drug dealing violence? Is shoot 'em up, bang, bang in the community, is that violence?
Yes, sir.
Where in the world is the effort, even do half the effort in coming after us, monitoring on us, watching us, all of this here? Put a tenth of that effort in going after some real criminals.
Right.
But they said, but we don't want to do that because sin pays. That's really the deal. And you guys messing it up with your righteousness and your Bible teachings. Go ahead, Lockett.
We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat.
And we would hope that when we contact the proper authorities, they're not looking to try to swing the chat our way. You dig it? They want to call us the criminals.
Right.
And meanwhile, we're trying to stop crime in our communities, trying to stop teenage pregnancies, drugs, guns, rape, all of that. We're the organization, according to the Most High's commandments, we're the ones that's trying to do that, looking for all our people that are in the evil and trying to clean them up. And they deem us as evil.
Right.
Well, we definitely know what kind of society we're in, if that's the case. Go ahead.
And Bishop,
Go ahead.
you
Bring it
said
on
from
out.
the beginning, we're bringing forth the gospel.
Yes, sir.
The gospel meaning the good news.
Right.
We ain't bringing bad news. We bringing good news. This ain't ABC or CBS News,
Right.
where you hear all types of madness and craziness going on. No, we bringing forth good news, the gospel.
That's right.
But you deem us as a hate group. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, you
But I
right
do.
exactly. I know
But
you
I
get
do.
it, but it's supposed to be a situation where aren't they supposed to be about righteousness? Supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, at least pretend.
You're right.
Right.
No, at least pretend. Finish that. Read that up. Read
As
it again.
stated, yes, sir. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1, King James Version.
All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to get right into it. Put my thumbnail up from last week. Now, I'm doing this, and then I'm going to put up tonight's thumbnail. But this was right here, what you're looking at here. And then note what's on the screen. This was the class or the lesson that we embarked upon last weekend, last Sabbath, 3 p.m. Okay, and the name of that class was The Quest for Truth and the Slander of an Enemy. Okay, so that's what I was going into. But I recognized that particular class had so much in it, and I made the point during the class that we were going to have to break it down piece by piece during the Bible Book of Our Fathers. So what I'm going into now is basically the breakdown, the full breakdown of what we were talking about last Sabbath. So I mentioned to my brothers and sisters, tune in today. And the succeeding weeks, we are going to stay and continue to unpack this lesson. Okay? So tonight's program is about, put up our title tonight. This right here is a part within the class from last Sabbath, okay? It is the decadent absence of discipline, the France effect. That's what we're looking at. Now, I like this thumbnail here, the France effect. Laws, I'm looking at the thumbnail here. I'm just really paying attention to it. 1685. Laws passed under the Code Niort, and this is dealing with France. Okay, yeah, get rid of that. It says
Forced conversion to Catholicism for the enslaved.
This is what France did. Go ahead.
All other religions prohibited. Protestants could not
Well, I see it's cut off in some areas, but you can see there was a lot. And you know what? As a matter of fact, there's a video that you did, and I saw that. Could we just jump right to that? Because before you jump to it, because I'm going to jump out of sequence just for a second, just to explain what you're looking at here, and then I'm going to fully explain the title. Go back to the thumbnail again for a second. Okay, so we're looking at the 1685 on the left side of the screen, and then on the right side of the screen, that was 1685, and then 200 years later, 1865, laws passed under black codes. So basically, you had codes in both eras.
Right.
Okay, that was used to oppress black people. Okay, France practiced it in 1685 all the way up to right now. That's what we're dealing with. And of course, in America, it was done here with the black codes coming out of slavery and then the Jim Crow era and all that. But all of this was done to oppress black people. So now, going to the actual title, I want to talk about the decadent absence of discipline, showing you that whenever discipline is missing, because that's why, last week when I talked about it in the show, I said that, I'm talking about last Sabbath, I mentioned that there was a subtitle. I don't think we really put it in the on the thumbnail, but the thumbnail, but the subtitle was dealing with the discipline, how much of it, how much important it is for that discipline to be there. Because without discipline, you're going to have all kinds of chaos. You're going to have willful temptations into sin and evil. There's no checks and balances within your own self. We should employ a system of self-discipline. Right. And in the beginning of that class, I spent a good hour explaining about the importance of and having discipline before you make certain decisions. So, again, we're talking about the decadent absence of discipline. And then I said the France effect. The France effect is about getting rid of the discipline to create a decadent absence of discipline. In other words, France has attacked IUIC because they wanted to get rid of the standard to clean our people up. They don't want our people to be disciplined. They want our people to be wild and crazy with no kind of structure, no kind of order, no kinds of discipline, nothing righteous at all, And so that's what the France effect is. And when I say the France effect, believe me, France is not the only one. France looks to make, because this is all Esau. Esau looks to make this attack worldwide because their objective is to pull the whole root of the truth out of the earth so that they can continue to enslave and destroy the nation of Israel. That's their quest to do. And our quest is to resurrect our people. Our quest, that's the reason why I called it the quest last week. Our quest is to save the Israelites through the gospel. We have to go and find them and bring them to the Most High, bring them to Christ, and clean them up from the negative influences that continue to destroy our people wholesale. So that's what this title is about, okay? All right. We were getting ready to do something here. I guess we can come out of this, right? I think I explained everything. Or was it something else?
There was a video that you had made.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. Come on with it. Hit me.
Israel, Most High in Christ bless. This is Officer Ezekiel here with IUIC Gastonia. Today we want to talk about the country of France and how they continuously, in the past and in the present, are oppressing the children of Israel, trying to stop us from serving our true God. Let's get into this. Ivory Coast, colonized for profit. Resource plundering and labor slavery. The region is the Ivory Coast. Time period, 1893 to 1960. Ivory Coast had gold, cocoa, coffee, and rubber. So France took the land and enslaved the people. They forced our people into fields, plantations, and mines. They worked from sunup to sundown without pay. And while the French Empire grew rich, like it is today, the West got chocolate. Our people got chains. So we're going to go to the book of Jeremiah 22, verse 13. It says, "Woe unto him that builded his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong." Because they benefit off the blood, sweat, and tears in the enslavement of the children of Israel today. Okay? That's how they have a great, so-called great kingdom and riches. Okay? It says, this is why France wants to ban IUIC, because we expose the truth of all the atrocities they have done throughout history. Their luxury came from our blood, and the Bible confirms it all. And that's why they want to ban the Bible. From Ivory Coast to Paris, the prophets are back, and they fear what we teach.
Exactly.
With that, we say shalom.
All praise to the Most High. That was well done, officer. That was well done.
Bishop.
I couldn't get enough of it. I had to keep on rolling with it, you know. So all praise to the Most High. So we're going to move right along. Look at my next clip I put up because I saw this here just right. Now what I did here, I just screenshotted it, but the actual link is here. Why France banned us, meaning IUIC. And then you see, and we actually have the link. I encourage every brother, every sister around the planet Earth to watch this here. Okay, Bishop, I made a note on our group this morning. I said this was an excellent interview. Okay, why France banned Israel United in Christ? Bishop Nathaniel speaks out. Okay,
Amazing.
In this powerful interview, Bishop Nathaniel, founder of Israel United in Christ, IUIC, breaks down what really happened when France banned the IUIC organization for preaching their biblical beliefs. Okay, so brothers and sisters, make a note of this video, screenshot it, do whatever you have to do, but go back and watch this because forget about the lies. The truth is here. And what Bishop dropped on this is 100% A1. So there's no need to be fooled anymore. You can find out the full deal. And this was excellent. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. Okay, all right. Okay, so that was the point there. All right. Anybody want to say something to that before I move on?
What really is IUIC? That
Bring it out.
it's something that needs to be made illegal or criminalized in an entire country. IUIC is an organization that is Bible-based, which many countries say that they believe in, which is Catholicism, which is Francis, that teaches that people should follow God, do the things that keep ourselves clean and righteous in the sight of God by not doing evil. And we have an entire country that says not only don't do it, but we're going to make sure it is not even legal to be able to do that.
Right.
What does that say about these people that have had us in captivity?
Yeah. It says a lot.
Right.
It says that they're the devils that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
That's what it says. It says that they are 100% for evil and 0% for righteousness.
Right.
And we understand that thing. Okay, so I'm going to make this point here, okay? I said France and Esau in general hates the fact that we are a disciplined, organized nation that is not emotional in responding to temptations which are designed to draw us out. You know how some people will try to instigate and antagonize you, and then when you act out of character, woof, they take the pictures, woof, woof, and they say, "Look at him. You see, he's all violent. He's such a." But you never saw the fact that he was poked. You never saw the evil that was him being stuck in the side, and, you know. And when he reacts to pain, you say, "Look at him. He's all wild and crazy and such and such," and we learn a level of discipline in IUIC according to the Bible. We learn how to think before we act. So that's the point that I wanted to make.
That's right.
And that's what they don't like. Their objective is to draw us out. But that's not going to happen. You got people like, I'll give you an example, like this Ron dumbass. I'm gonna call him that. That interrupted Bishop when he was on when he was dealing with.
By the way, that's in the Bible.
Yeah,
right,
that's right. Yeah, it is. It is. You know what? Let me get that. Give me Isaiah 1:3.
That's right.
just because of that. That's a good thing to note too.
Isaiah.
He's gonna interrupt Bishop while Bishop was in an interview with another man about what happened in Kenya, and the doggone nooker stepped in the way and tried to divert the whole thing to pull Bishop into some foolishness. Bishop answered his full question and at that point dismiss his wicked behind and stay on point. And that's how we rolling. You're not going to draw us out into some foolishness. We got work to do. Okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to let my brothers deal with that. Enough of me giving attention to such foolery.
Right.
Okay? What you got there? Give me that. Isaiah 1:3.
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
The Bible says that the ox, jackass, knows his owner. The ox knows his owner. As dumb as an ox is, it knows who his owner is. The Most High told my Israelites. Go ahead.
And the ass his master's crib.
And a dumbass knows where his land is at. Go ahead.
But Israel doth not know.
So who is the Most High calling a dumbass? The Israelites that don't know the Bible, that don't know who they are, that don't know that they're the Israelites. Dumbass. That's what the Most High is saying about our people. So I didn't use the wrong words. Keep reading.
My people doth not consider.
My people does not consider. Why? Because they are influenced by Satan. They're influenced by Esau. They're influenced by all kinds of lies and evil, and they hate the words of the Most High. They hated him that rebuketh, meaning to correct our people in the leadership. That's what the gates represent. The leaders of a community is supposed to correct their people, and they hate that, and they want to interrupt, just all kind of Negro them in the middle of an actual interview. He just going to jump in the middle of it and expect some doggone respect. You ain't getting no damn respect.
Bishop,
the hell with you.
Bishop,
can you learn some damn sense?
Can we get the other one for him? Can you read that one?
Come on, man.
2 Peter 2:16. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
get that.
Yeah,
Shoot.
put that cherry on top for Bishop.
Yes, sir. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 16. But was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass.
There you go, right there. Go ahead, read it again.
The dumb ass. Speaking with man's voice.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Wow.
Finish it out.
Yes, sir.
Forbade.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'll read from top.
Yeah, Baal. Right. Go ahead.
But was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass, speaking with man's voice, forbade the madness of the prophet.
Damn. So
Right.
there you go. All
Right.
praise to the Most High. So it's in the Bible, brothers and sisters.
Right.
You know,
That's
so
right.
I just wanted to just make those points. Hey, brothers, did y'all download all the videos that I sent y'all to make sure that they're played without a problem? Okay. All right. So again, I'm just going to make this point. So we're not going to deal with the shenanigans of the Negro. We're not going to deal with his pseudo temptations to think you're going to divert us from this serious work that we have to do. That's not us. You got the wrong group. Okay. We think before we move, and that's discipline and wisdom. That's how we move. And I'm going to just say it this way. We don't do anything. Me personally, I don't give a damn what people try to say.
That's right.
That's me. I could care less. You could drop dead and dead again. My whole point, and I don't mean to sound vulgar and rough and all that, but I really don't care about people's feelings. Once I know where we're supposed to go, that's the way I'm going. And you can hold your breath till forever because I don't care. I'm very stubborn when it comes to this Bible. And you're not going to move us. You're not going to move me. You're not going to move any of us from the direction that God got us on. You could drop dead. That's how we would say it.
Right.
You could drop dead. We don't care.
Right.
Now, if you're going to deal like Bishop said, if you're going to deal like you're a regular, then we'll deal with you. We'll talk to you. But the moment we see that you're trying to launch an egg of deception in the midst of what we're doing, we're going to dismiss your behind.
Right.
That's right.
Period. We ain't got time to play.
Right.
Because like I said, we think before we move. And we don't ask nobody's permission. We don't ask anybody's opinion. We do what God told us to do, and that's it. That's that Ezekiel mindset that we all have to have. A mind like flint that won't bend no matter how much you cry and act up. We don't change. We don't bend. That's how you have to be. Once we know what it is, and that's how we're going, period. So I just want people to understand that. So there's no misunderstandings. Discipline and wisdom. I mentioned those two things, right? Because that's what you have to have, especially in this world. Discipline meaning that you're not pulled off of your course. You know, if you go into school, you're studying to be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, whatever it is. That's a particular discipline. You have to maintain that discipline and not get distracted by foolishness
Right.
that knock you off course. The wisdom is knowing the benefits of why you're applying the discipline. You can see, wisdom gives you the ability to foresee what's right and wrong before you get into it. Wisdom. So we operate that way. So everything that we do, we know why we're doing it.
Right.
We know why we're doing it, and we will not be, like Bishop said a long time ago, we will not be deterred by anyone. Let me say that again. A lot of people trying to find a thread, like you pull the thread of a garment and hope you unravel it. Right. They're looking for the snag to put. You ain't gonna find that. We will not be deterred by anyone.
That's right.
As long as the Lord is on our side, and we're gonna make sure that the Lord is on our side, and we will not be deterred by anyone. Anyone. So just get that. You can keep trying. That's fine. But we would love to just keep on ignoring you till we reach where we are going with this gospel. So I just want to just say those things just to levy the field. Okay. So again, like I said, discipline and wisdom are not found in many people, especially if they're not about this truth. Certainly, it's not found in the YNs. Right. What they call the YNs? What they young lookers? Young niggas. That's what they call them. Yes, the YNs. Yeah, I knew that. Discipline and wisdom are not found in the minds of the YNs with a gun in his hand, being tempted to, quote unquote, get his due respect. He's running through the ghetto. That's right. Show them images. He's running through the ghetto talking about something. You need to respect me. How come there's no kind of outcry for all of this evil? This is the reason why I say we don't have time to play with people. Right. If you want to deal, why don't you deal with this here? Why don't you deal with these kinds of issues? But no, you want to mess with us. And we're supposed to be stupid enough to sit down and have some daggone dumb, stupid discourse. And not even really a debate. Just have a dumb discourse dealing backwards and forwards, wasting time. Right. Because even it's like arguing with a pigeon. You could be right all the way down, and the pigeon will still say he won, because the objective was for it to not even be about winning or losing. It was about distracting us from doing what we're supposed to do. Right. And we're not stupid. We understand what that whole distraction is from anybody that comes up against us. We understand the reason why they all of a sudden knocking on our doors. Okay? You want to argue? You got plenty of camps that you can argue with. But they don't want them, because they say, well, we want, in their mind, they said, we want the premier group. We want the ones that's really making waves and making moves. We're not stupid. So I'm just going to say those things and keep things moving. So again, discipline and wisdom are not found in the minds of the YNs with a gun in his hand, being tempted to, quote unquote, get his due respect. You stepped on my sneakers. You know, you look better than me. My girl is looking at you and she ain't looking at me. She respect you more than she respect me. That kind of stuff. And you want to go settle the score with your gun in your hand. There's no discipline in his mind. There's no wisdom in his mind. Nothing. And the crime stats continue to go up. More jail, more unwed mothers, more fatherless sons growing up, and nobody sees a problem with this. But yet we're the ones that's dealing with this according to the Bible. And what happens? Nookers want to argue with us. Right. And I'll just say it again, and I'm going to move off this train because I want to stay on what I'm talking about. I'm in the business of viewing all of this madness as excrements in a toilet bowl. Flush it and keep it moving. Right. That's how I see it, because I understand Satan. I understand their objective. Their objective is to slow this down so that they can have an excuse to say, okay, well, we knocked out those that's really putting this gospel on the front end, because as long as this gospel is out there, people are going to have to at some point say, you know what, the Lord is really showing us which way to go, and why aren't you guys that claim that you're leaders and all of that, why aren't you doing what they're doing? And as long as that standard is put out there, it puts the focus on them. What are you doing? Well, it would be ideal for them to get rid of this so that they can say, see, nobody doing great, so we can be lackadaisical, we could be mediocre, we could be regular, and we could be sinful and evil and as wicked as we want to be. Undisciplined. But as long as IUIC is out there doing the real works, doing the real job, it puts the pressure on us to do the same thing. And we are inept. Well, we can't even do that. So we'd rather shut them down. And in their minds, they say, we're glad France is helping us. That's how they go. But with all the enemies lined up against us, the Most High is going to put you all to shame, including France and everyone that's set up to follow with them. Give me that in Psalms, Psalms 2. He shall have them in derision. All of you going to pay. All of you going to go down. Ain't none of you going to win. That's the beautiful part about being in this truth. We already know, it's already written that the Israelites are going to win. The prophets of God is going to win. Even in our death, we going to win. Shoot.
You want to put the top?
No, give me the 4th verse.
Yes, sir. Psalms chapter 2, verse 4. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh.
Yes, because the heathen are raging. Give me verse 2.
Verse 2. The kings of the earth set themselves.
The kings of the earth, France and all of the other nations, they set themselves. meaning against Israel, against the prophets, against the truth. Go ahead.
And the rulers take counsel together.
France took counsel together, and they're trying to get other kingdoms, other nations to join with them. We understand what the plot is. They figure that they can set a precedent by coming against us and just manufacturing some BS, and hopefully that it could be a wash, rinse, repeat type of thing to eventually shut all of this down. That's what their objective is.
Right.
And Nuckus is joined with them. We understand that, but all of you going to lose. Keep reading.
Against the Lord and against his anointed.
And against his anointed. That's what you are, against his anointed. The nations as well as the wicked Israelites. That's why it says that in the book of Acts. It also talks about it. It says, and the children of Israel were aligned with them. Go ahead.
Saying, let us break their bands asunder.
Let us break their organization asunder. Let us break that Bible up. That's what they literally got out here. They basically saying we can't assemble, we can't come together. Anything that resembles order and structure, they said that they're going to impose a fine and jail time. All of that was to put fear on the brothers. That's not happening. Go ahead.
And cast away their cords from us.
They want to cast away our Bible. They want to cast away our nationality. They want to cast away what unites us. They want to cast away our Zephaniah 2:1. They want to cast that away. They want us to be Negroes again. Go ahead.
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh.
You hear what the Most High said? He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh at you dumb people thinking that you're going to stop the program of God. Go ahead.
The Lord shall have them in derision.
The Most High going to make you all fools. That's what he's going to do. He's going to have you all in derision because we ain't playing with you. Go ahead.
Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath.
That's why you're going to get the punishment that's due. Then he's going to speak to all of you that offended his little ones. He's going to speak to you in his wrath by destroying you, especially you Israelites that jump up and against your own salvation. Go ahead.
And vex them in his sword
I love that part. He's gonna vex you in your sore displeasure. You know what the kind of vexing? I'm thinking about vexing like having an insect inside your head that you can't get out, and it's just scratching and you can't
Vexing
get in there. Huh? That's the kind of vexing it's gonna be. Well, you can't get rid of it. It's like something just crawled in your ear and just tearing you up, and you can't get it out, driving you crazy. That's how the Most High gonna vex you. Just imagine that kind of annoyance. That's how he's gonna deal with you. Okay, is that it on there? Read.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. What
Yet,
verse you in?
that was end of 5.
Go ahead. Read on.
Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill
You
of
hear
Zion.
what the Most High say? Yet will I set my king upon my holy hill. Christ, he gonna set Christ up and his fellow heirs. Like he said, we are joint heirs with him. He gonna set us all up in power to bust your backs open when you disobey this Bible.
Right.
Go ahead.
I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, thou art my son.
Thou have said unto, what did he say? Thou hast what?
Thou art my son.
The Most High said he's brought Christ out and said, this is my son. He's talking about Christ. Go ahead.
This day have I begotten thee.
Go ahead.
Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
You hear what the Most High said? He says, ask of me, and I will give you the nations for your possession. Who's saying this? The Most High. So we going to possess all the nations. There ain't a damn thing any of you can do to stop it. Even in our death, we're coming back to possess your behind. So it don't matter. It don't matter. That's the reason why I don't give a damn about playing games with you. The Bible is what it is, and that's how we moving. We are very stubborn and hard-headed when it comes to dealing with God's Bible. I'm just letting you know that there's a level of arrogance you have to have in this truth, to not bend to no nooker at all. So I'm just saying it that way. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
I just had to get those things out there. Okay, what y'all want to bring out?
I want 1 Corinthians 1:25. That just stirred my spirit.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
trying
how
to do. I'm trying to stir you.
Yeah, I like how you brought that out, Bishop, because what it is, see, we're letting our lights shine that is actually exposing them. It's exposing the demonic, the wickedness, all the darkness and perverseness that they're in. They're being exposed through us now.
Yes.
Because we're pointing out the unrighteousness, okay? Read 1 Corinthians 1, verse 25.
1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 25. Because the foolishness of God is wiser than men.
That's why God's going to laugh at them in their calamity. That's why he's laughing. Read on.
And the weakness of God,
even the weakness of God, that ain't no God, he ain't got no weakness. Read on.
is stronger than men.
It's stronger than men. Read on.
For ye see your calling, brethren,
Uh-huh.
how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called.
That's right.
But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world.
He chose the foolish things of the world. Okay, something even that they will take this Bible and call this foolish what we're preaching and what we're saying out of this book. They'll call this foolish. Okay, read on.
To confound the wise.
They'll call it foolish because we're bringing marriages and husband and wives back together. They call it foolish because we're telling women to come out of those pants. We're telling men to quit wearing dresses and step up and be a man, show thyself a man, okay, and take care of their household, take care of their children, leave those drugs, be disciplined. They see these things taking place here in IUIC. Read on.
And God hath chosen the weak things of the world.
Weak things like, again, we was those weak things. Okay, read on.
To confound the things which are mighty.
Uh-huh.
And the base things of the
And
world.
the base things, because that's what they look at us as the base, the foolish, nothing. Read on.
And things which are despised.
We are the despised. Okay, that's why we read Zephaniah 2:1. Gather thyself together. Gather together. O nation not desired. We the one despised. Read on.
Hath God chosen.
Have who chosen?
Hath God chosen.
According to Deuteronomy 7 verse 6, he chose Israel. He chose the Israelites. He chose us to be his chosen people. We didn't choose him. He chose us. But read on.
Yea. And things which are not, to bring to naught things that are.
All praise to the Most High. So that's what I wanted to just touch on, Bishop, because you.
Bishop, can I slide one in, Bishop? I want to back Bishop up on that. It said he's going to give us the heathen for an inheritance. Go to Revelation 2:26. You stirred me up, Bishop. You said we gonna bust them up. Get that.
Revelation chapter 2 and verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my words unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
That's that heathen for an inheritance. Read on.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of potter shall they be broken to shivers.
Shall who?
Shall they be broken?
So it's talking about people, and they talking about pots and pans. It says, so people be broken to pieces. I just want to say
you good, Bishop.
Go ahead.
Even as I received of my Father.
So that's it's showing from the Old Testament, and now we're reading in the New Testament where we're gonna rule over the nations. That's it, Bishop.
So we got a lot of work to do, brothers. Yes, that's my point. We got a lot of work to do, and we do not have time to be playing with old nookers as well as young nookers, the YNs. We ain't got time to play with this. We got too much work to do, and like Bishop said a long time ago when we did the Kings in the Building video, I was there when we were doing it. We were editing it and all that. We was actually inside the studio in New York. We had built the studio in the school in the Bronx. You know, the basement. I really don't talk about that too much, but outside of the basement that we had to build where the man came downstairs and said, wow, nice color and all that. That particular area had a attached garage area that we converted into a studio. And we had a full studio up in there, and that's when we were making music. Kings in the Building was made in there. That's where that song was made at. And Bishop was featured in one of the interviews on that, and he made the point in saying that we will not be deterred by anything.
That's right.
By anyone. So those are the words of the bishop. Those are the words from all of us, as all the way through IUIC. We will not be deterred by anything. I just want you to know that. Okay, we are not stopping. So, moving on. My point is about our objective is to teach our people discipline and righteousness and wisdom. Teach them to come back to God's laws. They are the Israelites. They are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as we went on the quest, the quest was to look for them and to bring them back to Christ. To bring them, because they were the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The gospel is to bring them back. Okay, to teach them discipline, to teach them righteousness, to teach them the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary law, the ceremonial laws. Those are the things that we have to learn and keep those commandments in the faith of Jesus the Christ. That's what our mission is. And we don't give a damn about anybody that wants to stop that program. You can come up with all the plots, all the plans, everything that you want. But like we just read there in Psalms, it said, but the Lord will put you all in derision. And we gonna win. Just like we're here today. Believe me, listen to me. We've been on this earth many times. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I know I was killed many times.
Yes, sir.
my ass is back here again, and I'm gonna be here again. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? That's how you got to look at it.
Right.
We were killed many times before. You know that.
Yes, sir.
But we here again.
Yep.
I know I went too deep on you by saying that because I'm actually acknowledging the
he
times that I
looking at
can't
you,
even
Bishop.
remember. I know. It sounds wild. It sounds wild. Listen, how in the world this man could talk about some times that he can't even remember because the Bible says there was no remembrance of former things. But I know we were here.
Yeah,
Right.
no doubt.
With all these years that this earth been in existence, you mean to tell me that our lives is only 70? That's
Right,
it?
right.
No, there's 4 generations of people that constantly come back. That's how Moses was able to say, and you shall be brought into captivity again with ships. Who was he speaking to? The Israelites in Mount Sinai.
Ye.
He said you. He said ye. And thou. Thou means you. Those people didn't go into slavery. They had to come back many years later and went into slavery.
Like he told Jeremiah.
Exactly. He said exactly like he said. What did he say? Give me that in Jeremiah. Just to knock him upside the head. Give me that in Jeremiah. Watch this.
There's a thumper.
Shoot, just to thump him.
Jeremiah.
Like,
chapter-
hey, when I said thumb, put their head in the headlock and take your strong thumb and boop, pop their head like a grape.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4.
Read.
And thou, even thyself,
Wait a minute. And thou, even thyself, Jeremiah,
shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Jeremiah did not discontinue in the heritage when he was alive when that was being said.
Right.
He did not lose his heritage. So what is the Lord saying? You were going to come back and you will not know that you were the Israelites.
That's right.
That's what happened to us. So with that knowledge, and don't get me wrong, everybody, the pain of death, the sting of death, those are some hurting things. They
right.
have you trembling. I'm not trying to say that we won't, we want to live, but such and such. But I know that if the Lord allow you to finally get me, I know I'm coming back because I'm going to die in this truth. And that's what all our prayers for my brothers, my sisters, all of us. We're going to hold on to this truth because we want revenge.
Right.
Yep.
Like the Revelations say, when it says to get vengeance on them that slayed us in the earth. Give me that. Yeah, our spirits are crying out. They're looking to get some get back.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 9.
Yes, sir.
And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain
That's
for the
us,
word of
that
God.
was slain for the word of God. So we're getting ready to, many of us going to go through that.
Yes, sir.
They're going to slay us for the word. If we were selling crack, it'd be no problem. Because they say, well, your own brother killed you. You understand?
Right,
or
right.
some mess in the community did it. But we want to kill you. That's how they really operate. They're just trying to act like they don't. But in reality, they want us dead.
That's right.
Read that again.
And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God.
The souls of the Israelites, the prophets that were killed for the word of God. Go ahead.
And for the testimony which they held.
And what's the testimony? The Bible, which is what France said you can't read, you can't bring out. You're going to pay for that. The Most High just showed a little dab. He had hell to come down in the damn heat. He said, listen, just letting you know, I'm getting ready to just let you know that I'm here. Boop. And shut every damn thing down. Shut planes down, shut the electricity down, cars getting damaged, all kind of damage. The Lord said, I'm just letting you know that I see you. I see you. And we know that. Read.
And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
So that's what we're saying in the spirit world. That's what we're saying in the spirit. So this day of vengeance is going to come, and we go all praise to the Most High. The Most High said that it's a righteous thing to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So when that time comes, when that rod of iron that we were talking about, the Most High going to put that thought in our head. That's going to be a beautiful thing.
You want that?
Hey, bitch, that's when you come back with that rope, huh?
There you go. There you go. So I'm just bringing these things out. Okay, just bringing these things out. What you got?
You want that righteous thing?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thessalonians.
2 Thessalonians chapter
I'm
1,
just throwing
verse
these things
6.
out. Then we're going to get back into the lesson. I got to bring these things out and what I got on my paper here.
Oh, yes.
Come on.
2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation.
It's a righteous thing with God. The hell with everybody else. The Most High said that it is righteous. This is what I said. We don't care about people's feelings. If God said it, that's how we move it.
That's right.
Read that again.
Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
So the hell with what the church say. The hell with what Reverend Hamhock say. And Reverend Foot and Funky Foot. Huh?
Hey,
we don't care about nothing. We only care about what the Bible said. What you got, you get?
So Bishop, the Lord is not about turn the other cheek.
No.
Because this ain't got this is not turn the other cheek right here.
No.
Exactly.
Right. And as far as that concerned, because our people have been made drunk in church anyway, the turn the other cheek only applies to your people that have a conscience.
Right.
Okay, you can't tell a rattlesnake to turn the other cheek. Okay, because you're gonna get bit and bit and bit again. Okay, so don't get messed up with the wrong understanding of the verses in the Bible.
The Christianity slogan.
Christianity, which is white supremacy. That's basically what that is, and everybody needs to be aware of that. Okay. So now, moving on. So again, our enemies are against us learning the wisdom, learning the discipline, learning to keep the commandments in the faith of Jesus Christ. So there's a lot of anger concerning us waking them up. And when I say us, meaning that the Lord, the Spirit of God, and Jesus Christ is moving through us to wake up our people. And we're getting enemies from all over.
Right.
People on a daggone boat. Edomite woman on a boat. Negro, evil BHI camps. So-called apologetics. You name it, all the enemies come on. Because you understand? We understand that we are literally public enemy number one. And when I say public enemy number one, we are the wicked public enemy number one. The wicked public. We're that enemy. We're the enemy to that wicked society. I want to make sure I say that right. Okay, we ain't the wicked. We're the righteous. Right. We're the righteous in a wicked public. And because we are bringing out righteousness, that makes us the terrorists. That makes us the hate group. That makes us the inflammatory, intimidating, violent extremists and all that garbage. That's what that does. Because we tell them the truth in a sea of wickedness, that by default they'll have to deem us as evil. So we understand that. The drug dealers and the pimps and the robbers and all kinds of evil, they're not getting any of this kind of backlash. But because we are against the current flow of a wicked system, that system has deemed us as public enemy number one. So we understand that. And the paranoia goes deep. Enter Darth Perry. That's what I want to bring up now. So again, I want to make the point of saying that our enemies have worked long and hard and continue to, and they will make all kinds of unions, all kinds of collaborations, all kinds of conglomerates to unify against this truth, just like they did when Christ was born. They wanted to uproot and kill him. Even with the deliverer of Moses, they wanted to kill him. And that's what our enemies are looking for, to destroy any semblance of truth that will resurrect the people, that will resurrect our people. They are against that. So now I'm getting ready to show a video, okay? And a lot of people are talking about, as a matter of fact, Captain, y'all mentioned last week about COINTELPRO.
Yes, sir.
And what a lot of people don't recognize about COINTELPRO, well, I ain't going to say they don't recognize it because it's common knowledge now. But the term COINTELPRO would not even exist had not those people, it was Esau. Because you had there's a whole lot of history behind that whole thing. That was during the 70s. I think it was 71 particularly, when the Edomites broke into a field FBI office and pulled the records out and found out that there was programs that were set to destroy black unity and other groups. So what was happening was that there was a whole lot of subversive evils that was happening to regular folks that was against the Vietnam War. For an example, they admitted that they had files on like 1 out of 8 every person in this country at that time. School teachers, priests, nuns, regular people that had nothing to do with criminality or nothing. They got a file on them because this country was so paranoid because people were against what they saw was an injustice. Especially for black people. Black people were being drafted and sent into a war and still had to come home and be called nigger.
Right.
And nobody says nothing about that. So these people went inside his office and exposed what was going on in the FBI. Pulled those records out and sent them to news agencies, and they published it. That's the only reason why you've heard of what was called COINTELPRO. Nobody would have what it say COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program against black people, against and they gave a false name talking about some communists. That's BS. The whole point was about stopping the thought pattern stopping the thought pattern of real justice and liberty. And they don't want people to get that kind of thinking. So there's a whole lot of work that has been done to dumb people's minds down from that point all the way up to now. Okay, so these are things that we could talk about at length. But I just mention this because people know about, like I said, people know about COINTELPRO, but they don't know about other programs. We're going to learn about a little bit of that right about now. So show the picture. Just go to the video that I was talking about. I'm going to talk about this brother here. Okay, just show that, what you got right there. This right here is Darth Perry. Okay, he was known as an FBI informant. Actually, I think he had succeeded way above William O'Neill, which we're going to show him too. He was the one, when I said William O'Neill, he was the one that was involved in setting up Fred Hampton.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Right, that's the movie was based on him. But this guy here, he was involved in a whole lot of secret spying, many groups. So he recognized that the people that he was actually going after were just as innocent. Well, let me put it this way. The people who he was working for were just as bad as the people that they were going after. So he just said, you know what, I can't do this no more. I got to tell. So he actually telling his story. So he actually came forward. He's a whistleblower on what was going on in terms of being an informant.
Right.
So you can imagine the price that's on his head. Okay, because you're telling the secrets, basically. So he went to Gil Noble. Gil Noble was the man that dealt with the show in New York called Like It Is. Beautiful brother. He passed away a few years ago. But he had a program in New York called Like It Is, okay? And this brother was on his show. So he showed a tape of when he actually interviewed him. And I'm telling you, this tape actually goes back like, I think the 80s or something like that. It's going all the way back. During the times when he was interviewing the brothers with Malcolm, remember the two brothers that always show? You know, so yeah, he was doing a lot of interviews with some very important people, and this brother was one of them, Darth Perry. Hit me.
You're on the lam, almost. Do you have a sense that you're going to be arrested and go to prison?
Oh, yeah, eventually. Eventually, when things come to a head, it has to. Has to be that way. No other way around it.
What would you say to citizens who sit and listen to what you've said and have a sense of frustration and helplessness?
There are some agents, the old line agents, that disagree with the tactics that were used during the so-called COINTEL period. But one thing I don't want us to jump off of is that people always they're talking about COINTEL now so heavily. I'm not talking about COINTEL. I'm talking about a thing called BD, which was better known as Black Death.
He getting ready to explain it. Pause it. He mentioned a program called Black Desk. I heard this term before. I was in New York, and I was listening to Sonny Carson. A lot of people don't know about him. Y'all all right? I see y'all distracted by something. I was listening to a program. It was Richard Bay. He had a program in New York called 9 Broadcast Plaza. And Sonny Carson, people heard about the group X-Clan and Queen Mother Rage and all that. He was part of that crew. And this was during the time of the the Gavin Cato situation where you had a Hasidic man driving through Crown Heights with no license, ran through a red light and killed Gavin Cato, and the people in the community went wild. So what the white media did, because he was one of the spokesmen in defense and the advocate of the family, the Levite, the Haitian brother that got killed, and he was one of the spokesmen, the loud spokesman that was getting the attention. Like, listen, somebody got to deal with this, and left the Haitian kid there and took the white man that caused the damn accident, put him in the quote unquote Jewish ambulance, and left the brother there on the street, and the people went wild. Riots and all that, you know, so they made that kind of situation. I'm just bringing y'all up to speed because a lot of people don't check just recent history. That particular situation sparked all kinds of riots in Crown Heights. I'm in New York when this was going down. Some guy named Yanko Rosenbaum got stabbed, something like that, and they all tried to make it criminalize all the black people in Crown Heights. And Sonny Carson was one of the spokesmen for the family. He said, well, what about the justice that happened to this man here? How come this man was able to drive a vehicle with no license, run through a red light, and kill somebody, and nobody goes after him? So he made a lot of hell. He raised a lot of hell about that. Can you dig it?
Yes, sir.
So Richard Bey said, well, we want to get him on our program, and we want to talk to him. But before they allowed the cameras to roll, they did the introduction and said Sonny Carson was a rabble-rouser, a blabbermouth, and said all kinds of things to get people's minds already, their image of him was already as a rabble-rouser. You understand? Before he even get up to speak. So this media does this.
Right.
They try to speak about you before you even come on. So Sonny Carson, don't lose your point. Sonny Carson says he understands. That's why he said, I don't trust white media. He said, the only way I'm coming on your program is it has to be live where you can't change nothing. So that was a live program that I saw. And, man, that was a good one. That was a very good, because he tore everybody's ass up on the set because they couldn't change it. It was too late. It was out there. He said, the only way I'm coming on is that it got to be live. But the reason why I bring that up is because he mentioned Black Desk. Sonny Carson mentioned Black Desk, and Richard Bey act like he didn't know what he meant. And here go Richard Bey. He talking about the white man. Richard Bey talking about something. So I thought you actually meant a black desk that sits up in the building, because most of the people in the audience stupid as hell. They don't know anything. But Sonny Carson knew, and this man knew. But they tried to downplay it. But Sonny Carson knew exactly that Richard Bey knew exactly what it was. So when he mentioned Black Desk, a lot of people didn't know what he meant. And then you hear this brother saying the same thing. Okay? So go ahead. You were going to say something before we hit the button. What you had?
I had something for that, for Amalek controlling the media. I'll pull it.
We'll bring it up. Okay. So now, going back to the video, he's getting ready to explain a little bit about Black Desk. Again, people were still talking about COINTELPRO. Back it up a little bit, because let's as a matter of fact, I'm going to let it play all the way through, because I already explained it. There's no need for me to talk no more. Started from the beginning. Started from, right there. So they talk about COINTELPRO. Play it from there and just let it play to the end. Listen up, brothers and sisters. Open up your ears. Come on.
What would you say to citizens who sit and listen to what you've said and have a sense of frustration and helplessness?
There are some agents, the old line agents, that disagree with the tactics that were used during the so-called COINTEL period. But one thing I don't want us to jump off of is that people always they're talking about COINTEL now so heavily. I'm not talking about COINTEL. I'm talking about a thing called BD, which was better known as Black Desk.
Listen. Go ahead.
The Black Desk was set up for a simple thing of infiltrating black organizations and black groups, whatever.
Where was this Black Desk, or were there a number of them?
There were a number of Black Desks, but the head Black Desk was in Washington, D.C., controlled by Sullivan.
He named the guy.
And
Was he black?
No.
And what was the function of the Black Desks all over the country? I guess there were dozens.
The function of the Black Desk was to monitor activity, social unrest, revolutionary groups, cultural groups, and such in the black community.
And feed it into this central
Yes.
desk. And it still exists?
As far as I know, yes.
We've seen a number of investigations into the assassination of Martin Luther King. We've seen an extended police trial of the assassination of Malcolm X. What you seem to say substantiates what many black people say out on the street, that government agents or agencies knew that these assassinations were brewing and either participated in them or allowed them to take place.
It would behoove black people, it would behoove all people, really, to question so-called the cut and dry one lone assassin theory. The Bureau and other intelligence agencies are very good at conspiracies. They are very good at setting people up to be killed. They are very good at making innuendos so the person will be killed.
Did y'all hear that? Right. That's it on that. That's BD. BD, because they changed the names of things so you can understand. Black Desk is now, because they got several names for it now. Now, you're basically looking at what they call black identity extremists. That's that's a whole nother way to camouflage BD or to camouflage COINTELPRO. What is the objective of all of this? Is to monitor black progress, to monitor to make sure that we stay in slavery, to make sure that we stay in a decadent society, to make sure that we avoid discipline, avoid structure, avoid to take away all the things that we are actually working to instill and instruct. So definitely there's a whole lot of black desks that's got our names on it. Mm-hmm. I just want y'all to, and we are aware of that. Mm-hmm. So by us knowing that, I'm telling you that we are not going to be sitting around playing with Negroes because, like our elders used to say in the past, we are fighting the real fight. I ain't got time to play in a sandbox with a bunch of dummies. I ain't got time to play with that because this war is real. The spiritual war, because the spiritual war is worse than you put a gun in somebody's hand. We are at war with ourselves, where we hate each other, we hate our women, we hate our children. That is much more detrimental than your YN running around with a gun. Mm-hmm. You're killing generations of people when there's no discipline. That's the decadent absence of discipline, because it goes so much further. Here we come in with the Bible, the solution to our people's problems, so you can imagine the hatred that's levied toward us, and to take what we're doing and to deem it as something that everybody should be attacking. So I don't have time to play with a Negro. I don't have time to play with a nooker that's looking for views. The hell with all of that garbage. We're fighting the real fight. Right. That's the point. So I'm going to lean back for a second. Before you had something you want to bring up, because I wanted to show you. Hold that. Show me. Go to my Telegram. Look at some of the things, the postings that I put up. I got Bishop there. Should show that. So just show them. I'm gonna just say these things real quick. You see that slander? Could you zoom in? Because I can't see the words. Them small words up there. Okay. France banned IUIC for keeping God's laws. That's exactly what they did. Lied. This is nothing but BD. This is nothing but COINTELPRO. This is nothing but the program of COINTEL. It's all the same thing. So when we're fighting against principalities like that, I ain't got time to play with some Negro. Ain't got time to the hell with you. We got real war ahead of us. We're trying to establish righteousness, and we got entities coming after us, trying to destroy us. Our only friend is Christ and the angels. And those of you brothers and sisters that really understand what this is about, you come and support this. Everybody else, lay down. We ain't got time to play with you. Give me my next one. Give me my next one. Look at this here. Zoom in on that. This is Bishop Kanai. All praise to the Most High. Look at the bottom. Hold. Zoom out. What it said at the bottom? They did nothing wrong, because we didn't do anything wrong at all. But look at the attack that they did to dissolve the right for our brothers and sisters to learn righteousness in France, because they want to eventually wash, rinse, and repeat this kind of attack all over the world. So this is the kind of war we fighting. Right. So I ain't got time to play with a Negro. We ain't got time for that. And I tell the brothers every day, do not get involved with these niggas. Because we got work to do. We got real work to do.
Right.
Go ahead. What y'all want to bring out? Zoom in on that. You had something like him?
Yes, sir. I put a link up if they could get to it.
Okay. Well, let me just show you. Let me just show you these pieces here.
Yes, sir.
Zoom in where we can read the words. Come on. I can't see. Yeah.
Since IUIC France has been officially dissolved,
I want you to see how this is no different from what COINTEL when they had that 10. They had 10 points about how to shut righteousness down. They actually had a list on things that to keep our brothers from organizing and setting up things to help the brothers and sisters in the community.
Right.
Go ahead.
IUIC France has been officially dissolved by the French government. Scoot over some. Its legal status no longer exists, and therefore, no IUIC member can't
No IUIC members.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
No IUIC members can't legally meet as IUIC France.
I guess that's what I mean. No, the IUIC members cannot legally meet as IUIC France. So they wanted to dissolve the organization because the organization is how people work together. This is basically Psalms. Let us bust their bands asunder. That's what the unity does. It allows us to be able to work together in a system, in an organized nation. They said we don't want that. We want you as individual niggas. That's what they really saying.
Right.
Reading Christianity Bibles with Caesar Borgia. That's what they're saying. You got to recognize the language from these fork-tongued demons. Read.
Under Article L212-1.
Jump to the next one. Those are all official.
Number 1. All official activities are banned, including religious services.
So wait a minute. Religious services.
Wow.
Does that mean we can't come together on the high holy days? I want you to understand the attack. They don't want us connected with our power. That's what you're looking at. Come on.
Public or private gatherings.
Public or you can't even, we can't. So you can clearly see that this is really what they did during the Maccabean period.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what we're looking at.
Exactly.
Okay.
Pharaoh stuff.
Okay. Zoom in on that. I want you to read them points out. I got to get through these things here. I want y'all to see the attack.
Proselytism and teaching sessions under.
I don't know why is it cut off on the side here? Huh? Could we fix that? Oh, that's the way it is. Okay, all right. Try your best. Come on, brothers.
And teaching sessions under the name or structure of the dissolved group.
The meaning of IUIC, because that's the glue. That's the recognizable organization that ties us in communication with each other. Ain't nothing terroristic about this.
No.
This is about us keeping God's laws as a unified body. They don't want that. Go ahead.
Any attempt to reconstitute the dissolved group, even formation or
even informal gatherings. That's basically what they're trying to say. Even informal, meaning even if we're not wearing our colors, basically.
Right.
We don't want you talking about the Bible as a group. Can y'all see the hatred here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is reality. You think we got time to argue with a dunce
Right.
when we got stuff like this going on? Come on.
Right.
or under a different name is illegal and can result in criminal prosecution.
Come on.
Even individuals meeting privately can be prosecuted if the purpose of the meeting is to continue the group's ideology.
So they're making it sound like the quote-unquote group's ideology is something we made up. What these damn devils are saying is that we cannot continue to use the Bible. They call it the group's ideology, like we made this up. This is the Bible. That's what they are against. The Bible, the Bible, the Bible. I want y'all to understand it. Put the camera on me when I'm talking. They don't want us. They want the Bible banned.
That's
Maybe
right.
I'm looking at the wrong camera. Was it on me when I was talking, brothers?
It wasn't.
Okay, pay attention. Read that again. When I'm on the screen, put it on the screen. When I'm talking, put it on me. Come on, read.
3. Even individuals meeting privately can be prosecuted if the purpose of the meeting is to continue the group's ideology
To continue reading the Bible. Go ahead.
or mission. The group's symbols, the group uses symbols, dress codes, rhetoric.
Dress code is the fringes. Give me that law. I'm showing you their whole objective is to cause us to break the laws of God.
Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So by taking away our fringes, they're basically taking away our nationality. They want us in sin. That's what they want. They say if you put fringes on, even if you meet at the group and read the Bible, they want to say that it's about IUIC when in reality it's about us reading the Bible and us coming back to Christ and keeping the commandments of the Lord. That's what their problem is. And I want you brothers and sisters to understand that we are literally at war. That's the war that they're saying that we are coming together. Listen to this here. They try to say that we are the rhetoric that they say that our warlike rhetoric. That was in the letter that they sent us. They were saying that that you have your military structure and trying to inflame fear of white folks. That's why that skank that was on that boat said that, because she bought into the crap. You understand? So they're trying to say that our military, quote unquote, military rhetoric is a reason for threatening such and such. Let me tell you, brothers and sisters, something. They don't give a damn about a quote unquote military. They got a military for real. And they kill people with it. Only thing we do with our quote unquote military rhetoric, as they would say, is get our people to operate in discipline. Right. That's the whole point. We never lifted a finger, advocated any kind of evil, violence, murder, anything to anybody. Never. Then they know this. But they said, but the people don't know this. Let us put a propaganda machine out to make the people attack them. Meanwhile, you're the real murderers. You're the gangsters. Right. You're the ones that ripped off everybody's gold and robbery and such and such. Here comes a damn conquistador coming up to us asking us, what are we doing here? And I'm like, you're supposed to be in jail. So read on.
The group uses symbols, dress codes, rhetoric, or materials.
So they don't want us to keep God's laws. That's what I'm saying. Don't be fooled and make you think that it's about quote unquote ideology. Our ideology is the Bible, the commandments. That's what our ideology is. That's the secret sauce, the Bible. Then that's what they want to get rid of. Read.
Or materials related to IUIC. The gathering is organized by or for the former IUIC France community, with a clear link to its structure.
That's what they fear, the structure of the Bible. In other words, they want us out of the network, out of the loop of God. They want us to operate as Negroes. Where's all of this surveillance on criminals, on real criminals? Right. Where's this surveillance on sex traffickers? Where's all of this surveillance on drug dealers, on gun sellers, dope pushers and all that? Where that at? Right. I'm letting you brothers and sisters know that we got a real war ahead of us. And the war is spiritual right now. Because if their whole objective is to turn our heads away from God. That way they don't have to shoot a bullet. They don't have to do nothing. If we become niggas again, they're happy. They say, well, we ain't got to put no poison in their toothpaste like they tried to kill Malcolm. We ain't got to do all kinds of setups. We ain't got to do like they murdered Dr. Martin Luther King, like they murdered different people, stuff like that. We ain't got to do those things if we can get them to be against their own.
Hey, Bishop, we going against the system that they set in place and teaching our people to go against that system, and this is the reason why it's affecting them. Right. They want this system to continue to go how they set it up.
Right on. Read on. Come on up here.
What members can do. They can meet privately as individuals as long as there is no linked IUIC nor religious teaching or propaganda.
Propaganda? The Bible. Wow. So in other words, we can meet as white Christians. That's basically what they're saying. Right. If we read the Bible, they're gonna say, you're not reading the Bible. That's IUIC, who we deemed as evil. We're Israel united in Christ. That's nothing evil about that. But because you bastard devils, you called it that, and anything that associates with what you deemed as evil, you'll say that we're evil. Go ahead.
And no organization or hierarchy. Any rebranding or informal regrouping with similar content under another name or online could be treated as a reconstitution group dissos, which is punishable under French law, up to 3 years prison and a £45,000 fine.
That's how. So that's the scare euro. Yeah, that's the scare us. That's what that's about. So I just want y'all to see the real war that we're dealing with. Okay, go ahead. What you got?
Bishop,
now what you want to bring out?
You mentioned a moment ago about how that in Maccabees with the edict or the law that came out from Antiochus, the Greek, who is an Edomite, like the France, we were not able or legally allowed to participate in the holy allowance, the Sabbath days, the sacrifices which God commanded us to do. And when that came out, this is what it would have looked like, or in so many words. So we've seen it happen to us in our history, and we actually can read about our laws and our nationality being outlawed in the scriptures in the book of Maccabees.
Right. Let's bring that out, because I didn't write it down here, but I was definitely thinking about what 6 and 6, Second Maccabees, where they wanted this. Well, you had a different one.
The one in chapter 1, or you want to see?
Bring out the one you want to bring out.
Okay.
And I get the other one. Yes, I want to read that too. But this is what their objective is.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem.
This is what France did. This is exactly what France is doing right now. And they want that to be all over the world. Right. Do you black and Hispanic brothers and sisters, do you understand what we're up against? Read that again.
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
In other words, eat pork, women in pants, men in dresses, abort your babies, sell drugs, sex traffic your daughters. All of these things are legal, even though they're saying that they're not. But they ain't doing no surveillance on them at all.
You see it, don't you?
Even meeting every Sabbath.
I've been waiting to pull it out.
Bring it out. Bring it out. Don't let me skip it. If y'all see it, bring it on out.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm letting him finish that first.
Come on.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
That's what they want to do. They want us to profane the Sabbath, because this goes in what's written in the book of Judith. If we are breaking the laws of God, the Lord will not be with us. That's what they want. If we're keeping God's commandments, the Lord will defend us, and he will destroy our enemies and put them all to shame. Our enemies do not want us to have that connection to our power. That's why our power is keeping God's commandments in the faith of Jesus the Christ. That's what our power is. They don't want us to have that, which tells you that they are our enemies for life, and they mean for us to be under their foot forever.
Now pull it back up on the screen right quick.
In short, no public or private gatherings as IUIC France.
You hear that? There it is.
Read that again. What'd you say?
In short, no public or private gatherings as IUIC France.
Okay, here's the point.
Even meeting every Saturday in a recognizable pattern with former members.
So wait a minute. Hold it. Can you imagine? See, lots of this will slide by people. You mean you got to have people monitoring us to make sure that we don't come together on the Sabbath? Do you recognize what this is saying? For them to be watching us, to see if we meet every Saturday according to what the Bible says, you got an uncle that will say they're meeting. They're meeting. They ain't got nothing to do with IUIC per se. They don't want us to keep God's commandments. You brothers and sisters, you better recognize what you're looking at here. Even meeting every Saturday in a recognizable pattern, meaning sundown and all that. They're looking at it, they said that's that pattern of IUIC. And they're saying that's IUIC. IUIC ain't the problem. The problem is that we're following the Bible. Don't you brothers and sisters be fooled. This ain't got nothing to do with the name IUIC. It's got everything to do with us following God's commandments. That's what they are against.
Just
you better really recognize that. Stop this foolishness.
Just like what you just read, Exodus 20 in verse 8, I got it, says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
They don't want us to remember that. They don't want us to remember that. That's the whole point.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So, go ahead. You have something?
There's some more.
Read it. Come on.
Former members could be seen as continuing the group. Authorities will likely monitor such gatherings, especially if
they ain't monitoring sex traffickers. I just want y'all to really understand what this is. They ain't monitoring nobody but us. Because what are we doing? Keeping God's commandments. That's what the problem is. I just want you brothers to know that. So when we say the Bible, the book, that this book is the book of our fathers, the nations hate that.
Right.
That's why they gave you Christianity.
Right.
That's why they gave you lies.
Right.
Because they never wanted you to recognize that this book is really your book and it's about you and your God and your people and your nation.
How would your citizens feel of that particular land or any particular land? How would the people of your particular country feel if they knew that you were using all of your tax dollars that they're spending on you, the government, to actually monitor groups that are doing things like instructing people to get off of drugs and take care of their families? How would your people feel when they find out that's what you use their hard-earned tax dollars for doing?
You know, it's funny that you bring that up because in the interview that Gil Noble had with Darth Perry, he asked a question similar to that. He said, with all of these agents that they said to watch black people, to monitor them, he said that's a large sum of taxpayer dollars.
Right.
He mentioned that, and that's it. They don't care. They don't care about that because they said the number one thing we have to do, we have to keep black and Hispanic people oppressed, depressed, and all types of oppressed. Do not let them up. Do not allow them to organize. Do not allow them to come together. Not for any violence, just to offset the evil and the wickedness that they have thrusted upon us. Just because we're trying to fight the evil back. They're saying we don't want you to organize to resist our oppressive measures to destroy you. That's basically what this is about. That's what this is about. Okay.
Let me throw something up there right quick, Bishop. Let me turn it over. Let me flip it over. Play that that I just posted from Facebook. Blow it up.
Uh-oh.
So here's somebody calling himself debunking IUIC. Okay. I don't know who D.W. Duke is, but read that, Officer Lockett.
The IUIC and the Black Israelites are a domestic terrorist hate group.
Go ahead.
I have urged A.J. Biondi and President Trump to thoroughly investigate this group and to place them on the domestic terror watch list.
But bad news, they already got us there because you're a bunch of liars. They're acting like this is something new.
Exactly. Right. Read on, Lockett.
That will make it easier to prosecute them for their hate crimes.
What hate crimes?
Right.
Oh my God.
They got a see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Any of us to get even to entertain this is madness. They got to manufacture crimes because there is none.
Exactly.
They know that. Go ahead.
Which they have been perpetrating on a constant basis.
And this is the thing about this is what's so intoxicating about absolute power. You will just say things and believe you're right.
Believe it. Yep.
Okay.
You'll just say things and just assert any damn thing. What do they say? Prosecute them for their hate crimes, which is no such thing about us.
Right.
You got to have power in order to be able to influence anything.
Exactly.
They said to prosecute them on hate crime. That's has nothing to do with us at all. But because they have the big mouth called media, and they could just say it, they said, well, we'll say we don't care about facts or nothing. We just put it out there, and that's just it. And then what they say that they've been perpetrating on a constant basis. BS.
Right.
Prove it.
You
Prove
got
it.
Christian mercenaries that have literally went around the world and literally murdered people.
Right.
In the name of Christianity. So what the hell are these people talking about? But in America, what they've done, they have dumbed down people's intelligence where they don't even know basic history. They're busy running around talking about black people are a hate group when we are the victims of every iota of hate that you can imagine. Right. Meanwhile, your Christian churches are sitting on, are literally resting on top of bones and blood of the Native American Indians who they murdered to move them off the very spots where they set these churches at.
Right.
And you got the nerve to point your filthy fat fingers talking about some violent crimes and all that.
Right.
Only a fool would believe you.
Right.
And I understand America, the educational system has made 90% of the people fools in this country. So we understand what we're dealing with.
Right.
Go ahead. What you want to bring out?
Read on, Officer Lockett. I want to just...
Africans are not necessarily as foolish as Americans. The IUIC recently tried to push their hateful ideology in Kenya and were stoned by the locals.
Because we were teaching that the color of Christ is black according to Revelation 1:14.
Right. I saw this earlier because right now the narrative is being made for people to think that we don't have friends in Kenya. That's what they're really trying to say. We Bishop, we've been on all kinds of programs in Kenya. So listen, let me tell you how we're not a sucker for the propaganda machine. This guy might be a damn robot for all I know. I don't give a damn. My whole point is we're not going to watch something and actually think that Kenya thinks that way. We're not moved by what you say. You understand what I'm saying? This is designed to make us think that the world to make us think that what we're doing we can't overcome it. This is to make us think that the order is fixed, that we can't rise above. You understand? Oh, well, you being dominated here. We don't want you here. We don't such a, and that's supposed to set a message to you like, well, there's no need to even try, like a damn sap. That's not how we move. No, we don't move that way. So your propaganda ain't working.
Not at all.
We're going to go to Kenya. We're going to continue to teach that Bible in Kenya. And we're going to get many of our brothers and sisters in Kenya to repent. So drop dead.
Even when the stones were thrown, we were reading scriptures about love and how God loves us, the people of Kenya, you Israelites there. So where was the hate? Where was the hate?
Now, I want to point something out. I'm just about done, Bishop. Pass back to you. Read on through right quick, just so
you have an idea of the extent of their hate. One of their recruits murdered Alberta Williams King, mother of Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a damn lie.
When was IUIC established?
2003.
Thank you. When did that had taken place?
On June 30th, 1974.
But again, people will believe Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse and Christmas trees and bunnies laying eggs. And that's the objective. They looking to find people that's on this stupid trip to try to instigate them to attack one of us. We understand that. And everyone that does that, believe me, there's an offense committed and they're going to pay for that. So we ain't worrying about whatever you put out there.
Now that last part is, this is an evil, dangerous group. Take out the evil and dangerous. This is a group
that needs to be taken seriously.
That's the point right there. They know that they know we serious, just like we said from the beginning of the show. We are not stopping spreading this gospel. Bringing out this truth.
And putting those adjectives in there, evil, dangerous. They'll say evil, dangerous, monstrous, demon. They'll put all of that fluff in there and think people are stupid. So
that's all I had, y'all. I just want to throw that out there.
All praise to the Most High.
Yes, sir, Bishop.
So now, I want to get into, with time remaining, I don't want to go past my time. I don't want to. But I want to get these points out here. But it's all right. It's all right. What time do we got? So I got a half an hour. We showed you those, how France had basically put out, banned and all that. So we recognize that we got a lot of real problems. And these kinds of problems that's facing the black and Hispanic community, the Israelites, is real, and it calls for real leadership. It doesn't call for emotional men. It doesn't call for these emotional responses and being mad and going all crazy. We ain't got time for that. We have to be intelligent, wisdom, discipline. That's the kind of people we need to be, and apply God's laws in everything that we do. And that's what we are about. So I just want to make those points before I set up the next thing. I want to make this point, and then I'm going to go into my next segment on this class. The willful inability to practice the attributes of Zephaniah, the 2nd chapter, is what's left as a default, which leads to behavioral sink. Now, behavioral sink is something that I talked about in small sections last Sabbath, when I talked about behavioral sink. And behavioral sink, the term itself, and we're going to put the definitions and little descriptions up there and so forth. But there's various stages of what they call behavioral sink. I want to deal with the last result of it. And that's the point that I'm really wanting to focus on. But just for people's edification, let's acclimate the people's understanding to what this behavioral sink thing is. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because the result of this decadent rot, this absence of discipline, is the society that we as leaders inherited. And you have many quote-unquote leaders, camps, different church groups, community leaders, all kinds of ministers. You got a lot of people that claim to be in leadership, and they claim to be dealing with the problems. But how is it that the problems are getting worse and worse, and nobody's really, really seriously dealing with it? Now, I'm not saying that there's nobody's trying, but you do have a few that are literally trying to just do it for their own sake, to make merchandise of the people and things of that nature. And they're not really in the business, if you want to call it a business. They're not really in the business of solving our people's problems with the Bible. They're not really there for that. Because if that was the case, no group should have any animus towards IUIC at all. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I mean, in reality, there's with the, and I don't get into the main numbers and all that. That's not my thing. But all of these people, like I made the point before, when I give me brothers. Show me, before we show this here, show me one of the images of all the brothers in formation. Just do that for us a second. Find one of those images. One of them when we go through the streets and all that. Come on, quick. Have it on tap. Good.
There we go.
Show that. All of those men, listen to what I'm about to say. All of those men are learning the commandments of God.
Right.
Yeah, we have our trials. Some brothers mess up here and there and all that. But for the most part, I want you brothers and sisters at home to really pay attention to what I'm saying. With this kind of level of men that you see there, you're looking at columns going as far as the camera will go. All of those men have been trained, have been brought through the discipline of when we bring them and we train them, quote unquote, give them the scriptures, build them up in discipline, build them up in integrity, build them up in being honest, being husbands, being community leaders, being real men that love their people. Imagine where all of those men would be if there wasn't no righteousness being taught to them. Imagine how that same number of men that you see there will be adding to crime statistics, will be adding to the evils in the community. Some of us used to sell drugs. You hear the brother was chanting that. He said, not no more, no more. So that's thousands of men taken away from the drug scene. He said, we take care of our wives and our children too. That's another thousands of people taken away from that scene. And you mean to tell me you got, quote unquote, black groups that hate what we're doing? You ain't no different from Black Desk. You're no different from COINTELPRO or any of the other entities that are set up to destroy and kill off black people. And kill off Hispanic people. I just wanted to show that. So when you brothers and sisters, you really think about the hatred that we get in IUIC against any of these people, I want you to really understand where they're really coming from. They hate progress. They don't want to see their people free. They don't. If another group was doing this, I'd be applauding them. I would not say nothing evil about them. I never, give you an example. I admired when I still deal, on the sidelines, watching the Nation of Islam deal with our people. And I'm talking about the Muslims. And I'm not a Muslim, and that doctrine is wrong. But I will never say something evil about them cleaning our brothers up.
That's right.
The Panthers, when they were cleaning brothers and feeding the people in the community, I ain't never going to say something evil about that. Why in the hell are these niggas going to say something evil about us when we're getting our people off this crap? That shows you, that's why I say I ain't got no time to play with them. Do not come in my face. Talk about something, you want to discuss something. You're full of the damn devil.
Right. That's right.
Go ahead, man. What y'all going to say?
No, I was going to say, Bishop, they look at this line of men, like you said, as far as the eye can see, and they saying, no, we don't want them clean. No, we want them on the dope.
That's it. That's
we
exactly
want them pushing
what I'm
the dope. That's the what I was talking about, that system. They got a system that they want all people to fall in. They want us to be on dope and pushing dope.
They hate this. This is what they don't want to see in France. You don't see us tearing up we in the state. You don't see us destroying no government agencies, killing police and all. That's not what we do, and you niggas know that. You filthy people out there, you know that's not what we are about. We are about teaching our brothers discipline, integrity, honor, respect, teaching them some real understanding. We're not going to put somebody over a congregation and his mind is still in the damn streets.
Right.
We're not doing that. If you can't get your act together in righteousness and discipline, you just sit down. And a lot of them, they just leave because they figure that they're not going to bring their shenanigans up in here. But yes, we get tried a lot of times. We got a lot of people that come in and can't get the discipline, and then they leave and talk crap. That's okay. We understand that. That's not a problem.
Right.
Go ahead. What
And
you
that's a
gonna
very sad thing, too, Bishop, because they look in the mirror and they see something that can't be cleaned up because they don't believe that they are able to be cleaned up the way that these men, put it back on the screen, are cleaned up.
Exactly.
So they say, well, if they don't exist, then there will be nothing for me to be compared to that is above the status where I'm at.
Exactly.
That I don't believe I can ascend out of.
That's what their objective is. They don't want for that standard to be there for them to have to motivate and do and come off that couch, come off of that doing nothing spirit, that lazy sitting back, can't get nothing done. They want us to stay relegated in that damn abomination of a mind state. And here they look at us and say, and here you come showing them that they can come out of their stupor. We don't want that. And that's how these groups, that's a lot of these black groups feel that way. I'm talking about the wicked BHIs. I ain't talking about all of them. Some of them trying to do the right thing. But you got some that literally hate to see what we're doing. That's crazy. They have hatred for their own Israelite brothers. I'm looking at other organizations that's not even dealing with the Bible, but they're trying to help their people out, and I admire what they're doing. And we all do that. We didn't agree with Dr. Martin Luther King in terms of his method, but we love that brother.
That's right.
Exactly.
We love that brother.
Exactly.
And like our elder used to say in the past, don't any of you speak against this man because the Lord had a spirit on him to deal with how he dealt and put his life on the line and knew he was going to die and died and got murdered. He didn't die. He was murdered.
Right. Right.
So we respect him. We respect the leaders. Even if they did not necessarily agree with us, anybody that's sincere about what they're trying to do for their people,
Exactly.
we are all right with that.
Right.
And that's how you so-called BHI should be with us. But you wicked and evil as hell, and we know why, too. We're going to talk about that.
That's right.
I ain't done with them. I ain't done with that.
Yes, sir.
You know, we're going to get all this mess straight. All right, so we're talking about behavioral sync, right? Go ahead. You had something else you like him?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, go ahead. Bring it out.
Behavioral sync. A behavioral sync refers to a state of social and behavioral decline in a population, particularly when it's overcrowded and has ample resources, according to the Basics Guide. This term was coined by ethologist John B. Calhoun.
Now, there was a lot of controversy about this man because he was talking about like the study of rats in a utopia type of system and how they started to devour each other. So a lot of people did not like it says controversial because it's theories. It says theories. I'm not necessarily focusing when I mention about behavioral sync. I'm talking about the last stage of it, which is more prevalent in terms of how we actually living. But I just want y'all to somewhat equate yourselves with how this came about. This term, go ahead, read that again. This
term was coined by ethologist John B. Calhoun after studying the effects of population density on rodents.
On rodents. You notice that they call our people hood rats? That's not a coincidence. Go ahead.
In essence, it describes how overpopulation and lack of social structure can lead to a breakdown of normal social behavior, sometimes with negative consequences.
This is something that's heavy to say. That last part there, read that last piece again. It describes how overpopulation and lack of social structure. This is what France wants for IUIC. They don't want that. They want a lack of structure, which would, again, send our people back into the streets to be agents of debauchery, evil, rape, robbery, all kinds of filthiness. That's what they want. Okay? Go ahead and say what?
Lead to a breakdown of normal social behavior,
Meaning
sometimes
civil behavior between us. Go ahead.
sometimes with negative consequences.
Negative consequences means crimes that we commit against each other. Right. Murders and all kinds of evil. Give me the next slide. Just giving more information. A behavioral sink.
A behavioral sink refers to a situation.
Now, notice the time. Notice the wording itself. In other words, the degeneracy of your behavior because of certain conditions around you. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it, put the cameras on me when I'm talking. When you think about it, look at how they got the cities They have the people in the projects, for an example. Like I was talking about it last weekend. You got people that come home from work, working full day, to get on the elevator with urine on the floor.
Right.
You understand me?
Yes,
And those things will begin to erode they will begin to erode your morale,
Right.
your morality. You a cynical, evil attitude will begin to foster out of that, because
Right.
that oppression, that feeling trapped, that's not by accident. Okay, that's not by accident. Having people stuffed on top of each other, it's congested and all of that. That will drive you crazy.
To them to join house to house.
House to house, exactly. The scriptures say that. Go and bring it out.
Yes, sir. I got to find it real quick. But also about the urine as well.
Yes.
Because excrement in the scriptures, there's a law about discard of it.
Exactly, there is. Exactly. But they urinate right on the elevator. And here you coming from hard day's work, caught all kind of hell that day. You got your family, maybe your daughters, your sons, your wife, and y'all got to like spread, try to find the dry corners on the elevator floor with the damn pea river running. It's ridiculous. That's how it is. It was wild in the PJs. That was just some of the stuff. And feces on the damn steps.
I got it. You want the definition or you want the scripture?
What you got?
House to house.
Read it.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 8. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there is no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth.
Damn. You hear that? That's what you call total oppression. People need space.
Right.
That's what we're talking about here. So it's biblical, what we're talking about. And that right there will create the sinking of your righteous behavior. That's why I was terming the phrase behavioral sink. Is that our behavior is supposed to be on an up attitude, but in fact it went degenerate. It went down. It went into a vortex of destruction and negativity and evil.
Right.
Go ahead.
A behavioral sink refers to a situation where overpopulation and abundant resources lead to a breakdown of typical social and behavioral patterns.
So this was an experiment. This is not the phase of the behavioral sink that I want to deal with. But what they're saying is that when you give these rats a whole lot of food and abundance of everything, they'll begin to start to make systems out of their own living conditions and get bloated and fat and all the rest of it. And then afterwards, they will begin to just start dividing and to start creating caste systems and start to devour the other ones that are not so fortunate. We'll just create a behavioral sink. I think that's what this was going into. Come on.
In a population, often resulting in increased aggression, reduced maternal care, and other forms of pathology.
Yeah, and other forms of sick, degenerate mind thinking. That's that pathology there. But reduced maternal care, increased aggressiveness. This is what happens with us in our communities. Now, this is really just dealing with the beginning part of the thing. This ain't even the phase that I wanted to really deal with. But again, read the rest of this concept.
This concept was coined by ethologist John B. Calhoun after his mouse Utopia experiments.
So that's the word that I wanted to look at. Utopia. So that was when they had an abundance of resource. That's what they were saying. And people will begin to bite and devour each other after a long period of that. Okay, and they got different videos to show you about different things. But again, like I said, there's a lot of controversy. Some people say that it's not really accurate and such. But I want to move past that. Give me the next thing. Okay, now, hold it. Now we're dealing with this part, okay? Now, the final stage of this utopianism or this behavioral sink. This is the part that's more prevalent in terms of the reality of what we see. And the reason why I'm bringing this out, again, is because we as leaders, we're supposed to recognize the decadent rot that's going on, and we're supposed to use the Bible to solve the problems. You understand? Not bite and devour each other. But I'm going to talk about that bite and devour each other, because that's what made me actually look this term up. Go ahead. Read.
A dystopia
which is the opposite of utopia, in case anybody was asking. Go ahead.
Is an imagined society characterized by suffering.
That's the black community.
Oppression.
That's the black community, black and Hispanic community.
And human misery.
Where there is no hope, the people perish. That's basically what it is. All of this human misery, that's what you see on an elevator with urine on it, for an example. Go ahead.
typically totalitarian,
meaning somebody else is ruling it. Go ahead.
or environmentally degraded.
And is degraded. That's how we live. Our minds are degraded. Go ahead.
It's the opposite of a utopia, a
Go ahead.
perfect society.
Because we definitely ain't in a perfect society now. Read.
Often explored in literature and film as a warning about the potential negative consequences of unchecked social control.
Unchecked social control. So they're basically talking about like eugenics or to kill off the like they've been talking about. We got to reduce the population. Blah blah blah. There's plenty space on this earth for everybody to have some room.
Right.
But they pack us in the ghettos, pack us on top of each other, and say y'all fight it out. Go ahead.
Or environmental degradation.
Go ahead.
Here's a more detailed look.
Go ahead. Key
characteristics.
Read these things.
Totalitarianism. A strong central authority exerts absolute control, often through propaganda and surveillance.
That's us. That's exactly what happens. They control the minds of our people through lies. Okay? And with an authority exertion of absolute oppression, whether it's through the police departments, whether it's through agencies, whether it's through any kind of agencies where the people feel like they are trapped, and that's exactly what it is. Setups. And these particular totalitarian things goes well because only people only look at the police, or they only look at, let's say, the FBI, such and such. The oppression goes far beyond that. The oppression goes into the educational system, goes into the health system, goes into the economic system, goes into real estate. Every system you can think of works in unison to oppress these people. Right. That's the totalitarian that we're talking about. Okay. What's the next slide? Is that it on that? Okay. Totalitarian. Go ahead. Read on.
Oppression. Citizens are subjected to various forms of control, including physical and psychological manipulation.
Manipulation, that's what your media has done to your brain cells, where you can't even think, where you are absolutely programmed to hate people that's trying to help you. That's what you call psychological manipulation. And BHI, a lot of BHI camps fall up underneath this thing here. Psychological manipulation. We're all in the pot boiling together, and we showing hatred towards, we ain't showing hatred to them, they showing hatred to us, because we know better. We know the game. We know the scheme. Read.
Environmental degradation. The environment may be severely damaged, leading to a bleak and inhospitable world.
The environment may be severely damaged, leading to a bleak and inhospitable world. That's how we think. We think the future is bleak. We have no, what to say, where there was no hope, the people perish. What it says another one about hope deferred, maketh the heart sick. That's, we fall up under this thing here. Right. Where we have no, go ahead, what you going to bring up?
I had an example.
Okay, where we can't even aspire to do anything great because we can't even see anything a year from now. Everything is about now, because our hope is cut off, our aspirations are cut off. You're not told that you're going to do anything in your educational system. No imagery, anything that try to show you that you can be better than where you are. Even with what we're trying to say, we're trying to tell our people that you are better than where you think you are. You can go much further than that. They say IUIC, you're not allowed to do that. Right. So that's what leads to environmental degradation. First, the degradation in their own mind and in their own living, literally physical, where they think that piss on an elevator floor is normal. Go ahead.
Right. Loss of individuality. Citizens are expected to conform, and individuality is discouraged or suppressed.
Individuality, that's BS, because individuality is when you talk about individuality should be a collective of people that organize to offset problems. That's what it should be. Okay, citizens are expected to conform, which is conform to a negative way of life. And the individualism is what they're speaking about here is your ability to stand up against a wicked system. That's what they call the individual. So they basically say that you're an outcast. They basically said that you are marginalized. That's what the individual. If you are an individual going against a society that is about destroying you, they're looking at that individuality as a problem. You're an extremist. You're
Radical.
You're radical. That's what they're talking about there. And that particular thinking is discouraged and it is suppressed, where you feel like, you know what, I better not think like a real man in the face of a whole society of evil. Let me conform and acquiesce to the sickness that's all around me. That's what that's saying. Loss of individuality. Meaning, who will stand up for me against the evildoers? They don't want that. Go ahead. What's the next one?
Fear and hopelessness.
Come on.
There's a pervasive sense of fear, often stemming from the oppressive regime or a perceived threat.
That's what you call living in, I forget there's a term, exaggerated startle response. Where every little twitch, every little door shaking or something, and give me that in Leviticus. I'm going to read that right now, the shaking leaf. That's what this is. Hope, there's a fear and hopelessness. There is a pervasive sense of fear, often stemming from oppressive regime or a perceived threat. Let's read it. You got it? The sound of a shaking leaf shall, something like that. It's 26?
Yes, sir. I'm in 26.
Come on. You got the verse? Help me out.
This is verse 16, I believe.
Come on.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 16. I will also do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror.
Terror, hold it. That's what we're looking at on the screen. There is a pervasive sense of fear. That's terror. Go ahead. Read.
Consumption and the burning ague
Come
that
on.
shall consume the eyes.
Go ahead.
And cause sorrow of heart.
And cause sorrow of heart, meaning you can't even think, you can't even envision a way out of this psychological trap. Go ahead.
And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
Read.
And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies.
Go ahead.
They that hate you shall reign over you.
Go ahead.
And ye shall flee when none pursue.
Where's that shaking leaf at? It said the sound of a shaking leaf. It said shall. Just somebody Google it so we can find it, so we can know the sake of a shaking leaf. But anyway, while you're looking for that, because I do want to read it, that goes along with this here. There is a pervasive sense of fear. We got it?
Say again?
26 and 36.
36.
Okay, let's read that. Thank you, brothers.
And upon them that are left alive of you,
That's
I will
it.
send faintness into their hearts.
That's what we're looking at. Fear and hopelessness. Put it back on the screen. I want them to see that scripture. That's the scripture that what we're looking at here. There is a pervasive sense of fear. Our people are terrified. Go ahead. Read that again.
And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies, and the sound of a shaken leaf.
And the sound of a shaking leaf. Lord have mercy. Go ahead.
Shall chase them.
Shall chase them. Read this thing again. Fear and hopelessness.
Fear and hopelessness. There's a pervasive sense of fear, often stemming from the oppressive regime or a perceived threat.
Or a perceived. The threat doesn't even have to be real. Right. A leaf shaking, it should not scare you. But because you're living in a traumatic situation, and this is the reality with all of us. We're living in that. And you mean to tell me we have leaders that don't understand the real pain of what our people are dealing with? And we're talking about debating? I ain't got time to debate. Right. Fix the damn problem. Do something for your people.
Right.
The hell with sitting down at a table.
Right.
Shoot.
Going back
Madness.
and forth.
A bunch of bickering women.
Right.
They ain't got time for that.
Trying to one up one another. Some madness.
It's ridiculous.
Child play.
So bringing that part out, was there any more on that? You got fear, hopelessness. What else is after that?
Dehumanization. People are treated as objects or tools of the state rather than individuals with rights and freedoms.
They don't give us no rights and freedoms. We are constantly dehumanized. You know what it's like? Because, I mean, even sometimes it's subtle. Listen to what I'm saying. Sometimes the dehumanization is subtle, and sometimes it's outright overt. I'm going to go back to the boat, for an example. Here we are. None of us has a basketball in our hands. None of us have a musical instrument. Why in the world would white folks, this skank woman, her crew, her racist crew, her Carolyn O'Brien mentality that got Emmett Till killed, that's the kind of mentality that these people have. that tried to basically turn the whole boat crew against us for nothing. Same thing like that article that you were showing about saying that we got to watch this group and all of that. We did nothing. Even the boat people, they said, no, ain't nothing wrong with these brothers. Right. Nothing wrong with these people. They in order and all types of, so they didn't even agree with it. But that did not stop them from trying to launch propaganda against us. My point is, going back to what I was saying, I was making a point about the dehumanization. It is dehumanizing. Like I said, whether it's subtle or overt. I'm going past 8 because I got to bring these points out. Okay. We on the Bible Book of Our Fathers channel anyway, right? I hate to do it, but I got to bring these. I got to end it with the right thing. Okay. For somebody to say that we, like I said, we had no basketballs in our hands, not even wearing sneakers. You understand? No gym shorts, no jerseys with numbers on them. And they were on the basketball court, at least maybe there's one on the boat somewhere, but ain't none of us knew about it. At least I didn't. You understand?
Yes, sir.
We're not basketball players. So for them to even say, are you guys basketball players? That's an insult. That's a dehumanizing insult.
Right.
Are you guys musicians? Oh, no, that ain't what it said. Are you singers? Are you rappers? Are you the dehumanizing comments that's being levied at us?
They said that?
Yes, that's what they were asking. We were in a restaurant. Hold it, I got to tell this one here. It was our last day there. We were dealing with the brothers that were local. We, took them out to eat and we were about to leave, get to catch the boat to go back. We ain't even on the boat. We're sitting down eating. We got our own table. We set our tables up because it's us. We ain't seen everybody. We enjoying our company, minding our own business. Esau comes over, and he saws one of us that's tall, and he assumes that he's a basketball player. And he says something like, so what are you guys into or something like that? I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, who the hell are you to come over and ask us anything? Where do you come from? Go back to you know what I'm saying? Like, who asked you? Why do you even think that we owe you an answer? The arrogancy of what this propaganda machine teaches these people, that they could just say and do anything to dehumanize us at will and expect us to go along with it, by the way. So they asked that question and said something like, are you guys with the basketball or some crap like that? And thank God one of the brothers said, are you a conquistador? Tore his ass up. I'm like, here we are in Africa. You're a damn Caucasian coming over and asking black people, what are we doing? You're a damn conquistador. Your ass shouldn't even be on this continent, period. The hell you even coming up here asking us anything? But that shocked him. You should have seen his face after that. He said, gee willikers, what kind of Negroes are these? Wow. Huh? He couldn't believe it. He said, well, damn, they didn't go to my schools. Amazing. Wow, I'm telling you, that's a level of dehumanization. Sometimes it's overt and sometimes it's subtle. Because they'll try to say, I didn't mean anything by it. Y'all just look tall like y'all can do well with a basketball. That's still an insult.
Right. Mm-hmm. What kind of entertainer
What kind of entertainer? Entertain me, nigga. That's basically what he's saying.
He might as well came up with his car keys and said, here, make sure you don't scratch it.
That's the whole point. That's the dehumanization. That's where we're at now. Read the next one.
Surveillance. Constant surveillance is used to monitor and control citizens.
Hey, by the way, play that video that I played last week with the brother with the uniform on. Because this is what they expect when they see us. This is what Jane Gretchen Richards, that skank that was on the boat. Find that thing with the brother in the uniform. Play that, because this is what they expected. This is the dehumanization. Yeah, I'm gonna get to him in a minute. The dehumanization. Look on the broadcast channel, because that's where I put it at, I think. Last week. Did y'all ever find it? Okay. Go ahead. What you had? Like him.
They don't walk up to us and say, oh, this must be the doctor convention.
No, not at all. And we told them that. Yeah. We told them that we are archaeologists. in search of black people in the Bible, because that's what we are. We studied the Israelites. What? What school did you go to? They doubted it.
Right.
He said,
What was
that
the
don't
music?
sound like the narrative that I'm used to.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Jesus.
What was the music? He was a musician, but everybody thought that he was an Edomite, and then he showed up to an actual show, and then it was one of the.
Yeah,
it
that's
might
the
have been
video.
Chuck Berry. It might have been one of those artists, but they actually thought he was an Edomite. So when he got there in a fancy car and all that, nice suit, and they
Yeah,
walked
that
up
probably
and said,
messed their whole mind up.
"Yeah." I said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm the headliner. You got a poster." I'm gonna find it.
I believe it. We showed it on the next one. Here's my video that I was talking about. This is what they expect. This is the dehumanization of what we just looked at. Show that clip again. Not this. Show the thing with the word dehumanization. Let's go back to that because I'm going to come out of this. The thing that we had on the screen, dehumanization. Read both of those so I can get past this so we can go further on in this thing here because I do want to play the other video.
Yes, sir. Dehumanization. People are treated as objects or tools of the state rather than individuals with rights and freedoms.
They don't think that we had the right to be left alone. We didn't have the right to be over in a section of the ship, not bothering, minding our own business, read the Bible. They said, no, you're a terrorist, you're a hate group and such and such. And it pissed them off. They had to go and look for some dirt to try to taint the whole boat against us. And we ain't bothering nobody. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Sir. Surveillance. Constant surveillance is used to monitor and control citizens, often leading to a feeling of being watched.
Basically, this is what happens in the black community. Our people are under constant surveillance. Every group, like we are. You'll have Negro spies that will be in here basically fulfilling what we're looking at here. For nothing. I was listening to a speech by Dick Gregory. He said, listen, I ain't into nothing. And they tapping his phone. He said, I ain't into nothing. He said, they tapping nuns, students, regular people, tapping their phone. Like they really up to something evil. And that's basically what they do to us. And the objective of that is to make you paranoid. Is to make you put you on edge. Oh, they're watching me. Oh, they like you walking. You black folks know what I'm talking about. You're going into a store with a pocket full of money. You're walking down the aisle, and here comes the damn security following you, watching over you, looking at you like you're gonna pick up something.
Right.
This is by design to bug you out, and nobody's addressing these things. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. So that's the point in that. Okay, that's the point in why they do what they do. Now, in this dehumanization, the purpose of dehumanizing us, putting us in human zoos, same thing, is to take away your human characteristics as being a real man or a real woman with dignity, with respect, with dignity, with honor, integrity. They don't want us to have that. And any group that teaches you that is a hate group. That's what I want y'all to understand. So that's what they want from us, to dehumanize us. And when we're dehumanized, they want us to be like what I'm about to show. Play the clip, brothers. This is what they actually want.
White people want you to act like a puppy. You know what acting like a puppy is? You got to be tail wagging. When you see a white person, hey, how's your day going? Hi, like, hi, hey, hi, how's your day going? Hi. That's the type of personality white people like.
Now,
like
now stop. I wanted to play this in because look at the top section of the video when you see somebody said this is a famous black dude in the midst. Who is he? Drewski. With all those white folks, they love him cooning. They want that thing. Him up there cooning. They like that. Yeah. Back that up again. I had to look up there and say, what the hell is he doing? Who is that? And the brothers had to tell me, say, yo, that's so-and-so. I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But the white folks love that. They're comfortable when you're cooning. And that's what was wrong on the boat. We were not cooning. Right. We were thinking, reading the Bible, and they said that's intimidating. That's what they said. That's in the post that they were circulating. We are intimidating because we're minding our business reading. And nobody wants to address these things. And this kind of dehumanization is affecting thousands of our sisters affecting thousands of our brothers, but yet these no account brothers want to waste time talking about arguing over stupidness rather than dealing with the real things that's keeping our people from really repenting. They got our people got some real serious mental issues where they can't even come together in love and respect and honor and integrity because they are bogged down with the sick mentality that's caused by the dehumanizational efforts of our enemies. And nobody wants to really address that, but yet they want to call themselves leaders. We're going to talk about that. Play that thing again, man.
Type of personality white people like. Like a fucking puppy. That's what they want you to act like. If you really think about what I'm telling you, that's what it is. If you come into an environment where it's a bunch of white people and you sit to yourself and you're by yourself, you're on your phone, you're minding your business, a lot of white people feel like that's disrespectful.
That's what we were doing. Pause it. That's what we were doing on the boat. We were off to the side reading the Bible and they got terrified for nothing. Go ahead.
You act like a puppy. You know what acting like a puppy is? You got to be tail wagging. When you see a white person, hey, how's your day going? Hi, like, hi, hey, hi, how's your day going? Hi. That's the type of personality white people like. Like a fucking puppy. That's what they want you to act like. If you really think about what I'm telling you, that's what it is. If you come into an environment where it's a bunch of white people and you sit to yourself and you're by yourself, you're on your phone, you're minding your business, a lot of white people feel like that's disrespectful.
That's crazy. But now notice the picture up there. Don't even play it. Just look at the picture at the top. This is the comfort zone. That black man is sitting in a sea of white folks and a dog. He cannot even utter in his mind that Jesus Christ is black. He can't even say it. He can't even think about it. That's black people in church. That's black people in this society. That's the individualism that they cannot express. So they have to live and make white people comfortable at your own expense, at your own spiritual expense of being a man. You have to tone that down. You have to repress your real self to make them comfortable. That is a level of oppression that will drive you to drugs, that will drive you to alcohol, that will drive you to violence. This is what's going on in the community. And where all this brilliance and intelligence from these groups to deal with problems like this, which is a real issue, which is a real problem.
Right. Bishop,
Yes,
Dr. Joy DeGruy, in one of her most latest interviews, actually made a statement about how that when you're on your job and you have to laugh at the joke that isn't funny,
exactly,
is a part of post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Absolutely. It goes with the laughing barrel kind of thing. Even though it's seemingly the reverse of it, but it's basically teaching you that you can't laugh when you want to laugh, and you better laugh when you don't want to laugh. Crazy, basically. And that's the spiritual acrobatics that we have to do around these people and wonder why we're crazy. And again, none of these quote unquote leaders are looking at those real problems in our community. Our people are really bugged out because of the trauma that has been levied upon them by our oppressors. And nobody seeks to address these real psychological pains that our people are carrying daily. So I want to make one more statement. I'm going to come out of this, go to I skipped a little bit. I skipped some scriptures. I had some scriptures, but I'm going to play this and then I'm going to end it. Before we hit the button, I want to make this point. Let me see something. I'm going to play this. Now I'm going to make this statement. Like I said, I'm mainly focusing, I'm still dealing with the behavioral sink, right? I'm mainly focusing on the final stage of behavioral sink, which is what we just got through talking about. The result of all of what we just watched and witnessed and so forth. The result of it is what brought us to what we just got through looking at, where we are made to be dehumanized clowns, basketball players, no real critical thinkers, no hope, no aspirations, no discipline, no nothing. That's what we've been made and been morphed into and forced into that. So it led us to a system of living in a real decadent system where we relish debauchery, where we relish our women looking holy and slutty and all of that, where our men are rocking around guns and all that kind of, we revel and we embrace that because we think nothing better than that. That's some real problems there. So that's the stage of behavioral sink that I was talking about. That final result of where we are now. And what do we do while we are witnessing the destruction of our people all over the world? Everywhere we travel, we see the same pattern of psychological abuse that we attribute and afflict on each other. Where is the real leadership? That's why I say they are inept. They don't even think on those levels to really deal with those real problems. And you want to talk about taking people off the streets and bringing them in and setting them over congregations. Meanwhile, they still got all of these problems in their head. And you give them, quote unquote, rank, and you give them titles, and they have not even been properly groomed in the scriptures. No discipline, no honor, no nothing. You're putting a wild man over a whole congregation. Talking about something, you're a captain of 10 million and all that, and his mind is in the damn gutter. We don't have that kind of foolishness up in here. We ain't putting no brother. I said this last week. We ain't putting nobody in any kind of position to be over anybody if they don't have the express discipline and integrity and know how to really, really deal with their people properly. We're not giving you titles. We're not giving you badges of honor and all of that when you have not really earned it. Because the Lord's flock is serious business. We're not putting a fool over God's flock. We're not doing that. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I'm saying that whenever you dealing with your people and because we're going to need leaders all over. But the people got to be right to be able to govern God's people properly. They can't come and be over people and they got problems and sexual hang-ups and stuff. We can't have that. Because they will abuse the problem. They will abuse the congregation. We can't do that. They got to have that discipline. That's the reason why I am never going to let that point go. That discipline is 100% absolutely important. You got to be able to apply that wisdom and that discipline when you're facing your temptations. You got to do it for yourself if you're going to expect the congregation to do it. You can't be falling weak to that and talking about leading somebody. You busy on a daggone pulpit talking crazy about somebody else. And then what do you expect the congregants to do? To follow your wicked, nasty example, which means that's no different from when they was in the streets. But you give them a title to recruit them and make them think that they are elevating to something. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that. That's where I'm at now. I had to set it up. Now, brings me to this right here. This is William O'Neill. I want y'all to hear what he said. Now, William O'Neill, like I said earlier, was the man that was known, attributed rather, to the downfall or the assassination of Fred Hampton. All right, he was, you know what I'm talking about. So he was one of Judas and the Black Messiah. This is the real man. This is not the actor. This is really him. Play the video, brothers.
They were politically organized.
So he was set up to infiltrate the Black Panthers. That's what his job was. Why? Because he had stolen the car and went over state lines, and then it became a federal crime. And that's when the FBI said, listen, you're either going to do time or you're going to work for us. So that's basically what it was. He said, well, and the same thing happened with Darth Perry, by the way. They went to him because he pawned a oscilloscope that actually was stolen out of a college. That he didn't know that. But they said, well, you got to work for us now. You got this charge on you. You got to work for us. And that's the reason why we tell brothers, don't get caught into things where they come to you and make you, they say, well, you want to get rid of this? Stay out of that stuff so that you don't have to have these kinds of things levied against you. Okay, I just thought it out there. We can go further into that in a minute. Now, so this is the brother. He's telling a story about how all this happened. I want y'all to listen carefully. Bring it up.
They were recruiting At that point, the Panthers were trying to, they had speaking engagements at the different colleges and so forth. So we were in an organizing process, and there was very little criminal activity, as I could determine what's going on. Very little to report to the FBI, in my mind, because I felt like since the FBI was an investigative body investigating federal crimes, that crimes were what they were looking at, and so.
Tell me a little bit about how you felt about working for the FBI. What motivated you, and what you thought what ends you thought you were serving?
Well, in my community, the policemen were. It was the quickest way to gain respect. I think I grew up one.
Pause it right there. Pause it right there, brothers. While we're looking at other stuff, just watch the buttons, okay? I don't want to throw anybody's thought off. He said that he wanted to be a policeman because that was one of the quickest ways to gain some kind of respect. Back it up a little bit. I almost lost my chain of thought. Back it up just a little bit.
Criminal activity, as I could determine what's going on. Very little to report to the FBI, in my mind, because I felt like since the FBI was an investigative body investigating federal crimes, that crimes were what they were looking at, and so.
Was that where we was at? Pause it. Did y'all find the spot, or y'all don't know where the spot is at? Lord have mercy, man. Y'all messing my chain of thought up. Come on, play it. So I can get my thought.
Well, they had speaking engagements at the different colleges and so forth. So we were in an organizing process, and there was very little criminal activity, as I could determine what's going on. Very little to report.
So that was one point. Pause it. He said that there was no criminal activity going on among the Panthers, so he had very little to report. Same thing here. Go ahead.
In my mind, because I felt like since the FBI was an investigative body investigating federal crimes, that crimes were what they were looking at, and so.
Tell me a little bit about how you felt about working for the FBI. What motivated you, and what you thought what ends you thought you were
Now
serving?
pause it. That's what I wanted to get to. She asked him, "Tell me what motivated you to become an FBI, work for the FBI." Okay, that's what I wanted to get into. That's the part I was looking for. Go ahead, play it.
Well, in my community, the policemen were. It was the quickest way to gain respect.
Stop. Being a policeman was the quickest way to get respect. Why am I stopping here? It's because black men, listen good, black men want respect. That's the reason why they sell drugs. That's the reason why they, even the names that we put on ourselves, call me Big Papa such and such, because we're asking for a respect. Because in America and wherever we are, black men are not to be respected. Like they said, well, if a white man is walking down the street and a black man is walking towards him, the black man have to get off the sidewalk and walk in the gutter. All of that is to demean his respect levels. So we've been made to be a disrespected people. And not only are we made to be treated with disrespect, we mistreat ourselves. So when you got a whole populace of men now, in a community, trapped, basically, with no aspirations, no hope, while at the same time, the black woman is taught to devalue him. He's nothing, such and such. Everybody else is looking at him like he's nothing. So we're fighting for a level of respect. Where's my respect? You disrespect me. You stepped on my sneakers. That kind of stuff. My car looked better than you. All of those things are about trying to muster up a self-respect thing. So oftentimes when we'll play, stuff like Darth Perry and William O'Neill, people won't go into these parts of the interviews. They'll be busy looking at the fact that he sold out and all that kind of stuff. That's typical. Everybody will see that. But nobody will get into the nuances, into like what the woman asked. What prompted you to do this? Because he's probably no different from the many of the people that we're dealing with. Many of the people in the street that you pass by every day, these people among your own will sell you out for nothing because they got the same kind of deprived value system within their own selves, looking for respect.
Hypermasculinity.
Hypermasculinity, trying to get it back. Okay, so that's what he's saying. And he said that in his mind, he figured that being a policeman was the quickest way because it didn't require much education and such. That's what he's saying. But even then, he couldn't even really gain it. So back it up just a little bit, brothers. Just a little bit. I wanted y'all to hear what he had said. Okay, go ahead.
Well, in my community, the policemen it was the quickest way to gain respect. I mean, I think I grew up wanting to be a policeman, admiring and respecting policemen, although I always thought it was outside of my reach.
Why was it outside of his reach? Because, again, it's a thing where this is not good enough for you, so you have to just stay in the ghetto and be such and such. Mm-hmm. So that makes him, don't lose your point, that makes him want to get above that ceiling and be known. I'm Big Papa. I'd be respected. I'm such and such. I'm the drug kingpin. I'm the pimp. Such whatever. Just something where I can get what I think is a label of respect or notoriety. Mm-hmm. That's going to play a key point in what I'm about to say next. Go ahead. What you got to like?
I was just going to say, that's oppression when a man looks in the mirror and sees something that being respectable is unobtainable. That's oppression.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Go ahead.
My neighborhood was not unlike most people that grow up in Chicago. Most young people, we were very mischievous and did a lot of juvenile type, petty criminal type things. But stealing a car and all of a sudden having the FBI, having a case with the FBI that thought of really going to jail got my attention. And so when he asked me to join the Black Panther Party, and he used terms, he never used the word informant. He always said, "You're working for me," and I associated him as the FBI. So all of a sudden, I was working for the FBI.
Which in reality, I'm going to stop it here because I see my brother wants to come on, so I'm going to have respect and let my brother come on, Deacon Labica. So what I'm saying here is that he thought he wanted to be above the police. He wanted to actually be an FBI agent. But as this, because we'll continue this next week, Lord willing, he never really got that title. He never really got that title. They just used him to set up his own brother. And that's why he ended up killing himself later on. He realized, and they only gave him $300, like 30 pieces of silver. And shekels. Right. So that's basically what he ended up getting. But my point, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to tell you the reason why I went through this here. The FBI recruited him and made him believe that he was, like he was something respectable because he's looking. Granted, he was in trouble. He's looking to get out of it. So they used that to their advantage to recruit him. And while they got him in there, he gets to walk around and think that he's actually a part of the Bureau. He gets to say, I'm a part of the Bureau, such and such. And that's a status symbol. That's what a lot of our people want. Men. That's, like he said, in his community was just like many other communities with no status, no respect, no such and such, and they wanted that respect. Well, now he gets a chance to feel like he's doing something good and be amongst the Bureau and be amongst the, that kind of thing. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I say that because when we as black men in leadership, when I say leadership in the Israelite groups, I would say IUIC, you got UPK, you got GMS and all the rest of these groups, House of David, whatever. And there's several other camps. Some of them are not not on the Negro tip. Some of them are actually trying to do the right thing. Some of them are just outright evil. Mm-hmm. Here's the point that I want to make. When you deal with a man, knowing that he's looking for respect, knowing that he's trying to get his dignity back, and you, quote, unquote, recruit him and you tell him that you're going to be put over such and such, and we're giving him all kinds of you're a captain of this and that, and he gets to do, and he's thinking that he's actually a part of something that's legitimate in terms of really dealing with the sicknesses of our people, but yet he has not been equipped with the knowledge and the respect and the commandments to know how to really deal with the real conditions of their people. You ain't doing nothing but making him 2 times the child of hell. Right. You're putting an undisciplined man over God's people and turning the whole damn camp into debauchery because they just simply wanted respect. Because they want, oh, you're a captain of so-and-so. And you congratulate a man for actually doing wickedness and telling him that he's this and he's that. That's no different from what we're looking at here. So I wanted to go further with that and get into the bite and devour, because I was going to read that in Galatians, but I'm going to save that for the next time I teach. So brothers and sisters, I'm going to stop it there. When the next time I come on, I'll make sure that I'll pick it up from here, and then we'll go on further. But I hope you got a good amount of information tonight. Sorry, Deacon Laba, I did not check to make sure to see if you were coming on. I would have backed off a little earlier. So Most High in Christ bless you, brothers. I want y'all to make sure that y'all deal and tune into Deacon Labica, and also fix your face with Deacon Abiel tonight. Okay, so I just wanted to bring those points out to you. I will say happy Sabbath. Most High in Christ bless you all, and Bishop Yawasop. And
again, Captain Sarai, Most High in Christ bless. Happy Sabbath, Israel.
Shalom, also Yikiel. Happy Sabbath, Israel.
Obviously like him. Shalom.
Okay,
Happy
and
Sabbath.
don't forget to give your alms, brothers and sisters. Donate to IUIC Gastonia, IUIC.gastonia.nc@israelunite.org, and also continue to support the Booster Club.
And shout out to the Booster Club.
Absolutely. IUIC.fundraising@israelunite.org. And as you see, the donate QR code in the bottom, was at the right side of your screen. Just put your camera on that and donate to this Booster Club Act. And all praise to the Most High. Yes, brothers and sisters, we say happy Sabbath to you. Most High in Christ bless you. Shalom and good night.
Shalom.
Stay tuned for
Shalom. Most High in Christ bless.
My apologies. Shalom.